Wildest tweet of the week.
All right. This one comes from at Yo Bitch Love D. They said protesters was yelling, "Fuck 12." And the CNN reporter said, "You can hear them yelling about the midnight curfew."
I saw that shit earlier.
You have to go. You can hear him yelling about your fuck 12.
I saw that earlier and I
Oh
died.
God.
Oh
my God.
Being that out of touch.
You know what makes that bad is I'm pretty sure that as a news reporter you have to be informed that the curfew is pretty obviously not 12.
Right, it's like 8 p.m.
Oh shit. All right, y'all, let's kick this shit off, man.
Let's get it. Yo, what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Orlando Breeze.
And I'm Jay Gray, man. What's going on?
We got our boy, super producer, obviously, Teddy Bones with us, and we got a special guest, Scoopy in the house, man.
We got Boner Boy and Scoop the Chips, man.
Yo, Scoop is literally one of my lifelong best friends, and I ignore every single one of his calls, but I have to put this out there also, is that it didn't occur to me till very recent that he got stuck in Albuquerque during this pandemic, and I could have been inviting him to the park or just been hitting him up. And I just been ignoring his calls because I don't take calls from people in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
If it makes it any better, I've known this guy since first grade and he never answers my calls. I've known him longer than I've known both of you, and he doesn't answer a single. No, he lied to you. He called me back 3 hours later.
Hey, look, man, here's the thing. You guys have to respect the fact that you guys are both trying to get the job in speaking with Breeze, and he's giving you guys an equal opportunity.
Listen, man, that's what we do. Across the board, I treat everybody the same, man.
That's what we need more of in this world.
Yes,
hate you all.
Take note from, if you're going to take anything away from what I do, ignore your friends' calls until you're in a group meeting, and then you give them the same chance to tell you their BS.
Hey, I want you guys to know, as listeners and as viewers, there are many a time that, I literally, I've told you guys, I consider these guys my brothers. There are many a time that the first time I hear something from Breeze is on this podcast, and you don't know how bad I want to swing on him when that happens.
That's big facts, dude. That's big facts.
Since we're talking about how much you people ignore you people, can we talk about how the fact that every single one of you ignores me in our group chat and will have a conversation around me, and I'll be like, "Hey guys, who's playing video games?" And then you'll be like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to play blankety blank," and never say when or who. You just talk.
Is that a real thing?
It's
Listen,
real.
I never do that.
Yes,
I never do that because I never respond to the group
and
chats
when you
either.
do, you skip right over my question.
Listen, I have to do a generalized include everybody message because you're only getting one.
Hold up. I think it's important. It's important for you guys to know and for the listeners to know that Dominic told me he would call me in the morning on May 28th, and I'm still waiting on that call.
Have some friends you don't have to talk to every day.
Shit, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it, man. What do we
listen, so last week we got a lot of positive feedback from our episode, you know what I mean? Because we kind of covered everything that was going on in the nation.
Thank you, guys.
All that wild shit, man. A lot of people need to be regulated.
And it's still going on. It's still going on.
So
the fight's not done.
Exactly. We had a week to kind of not digest, but kind of dive deeper into this whole movement, man. So
I think digest is good too, honestly. It's because for a lot of people, they got to digest first before they can kind of decide what they're going to do. So that works.
Right.
We had a chance to let it sit too.
Let me ask you, what was your initial feeling or response, like just from like day one when George Floyd was murdered?
Man, I mean, I wish I could say I was surprised, but it's really nothing new. Isn't that the worst part? It's been going on, yeah. And I mean, right now, like the protests are going crazy, everything's going crazy. But on the bright side, I have been seeing stuff like Minneapolis Police Department banned the use of chokeholds.
Yeah.
And like, so things are starting to happen. The protests, the results are coming to fruition. So I'm glad to see that.
That's kind of what I was telling these guys before we started recording, was that like you have to keep watering the Black Lives Matter pot. You know what I mean? And it's kind of nice to see stuff like budding. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Obviously the flower is not grown, you know what I mean, to match everyone else's in the garden, but we can start seeing some buds pop, and it's nice. And I think that we can't lose focus on that.
I think on that same note, I think it's really important. I instead of a flower, it's a tree, bro. Trees take 20, 30 years before somebody can climb it type stuff. No, it was good. It was good. But it's slower than that even. And it is good to see a little sprout here and there. But remember, it's a whole fucking 10-foot around tree that your kids are going to climb one day. It takes time.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I totally agree. I think that there's a lot of people that are shedding light. And right now we're at a time where where you may have before felt a little bit like awkward to call people out or to like speak up and say something. Right now we're at a time where like it's very imperative, and it's the thing that everyone is doing. So you are kind of under a microscope, and you also have people that are going to back you if they see that you're doing the right thing. Like, I think more than ever, people are kind of like stepping in and doing the same thing. Like this has this really has to become the normal, is what it is.
It does. You know what's a cool example from that is the Buffalo Bills drafted Jake Fromm, and like he was texting some girl, and like he's like basically like, yeah, guns should only be allowed for elite white people. Like, imagine you're trying to spit game, you just got drafted in the NFL, and then she immediately was like, whoa, and then posts it. And then Jake Fromm's sister's like, yo, please take that down. Like, they're going to cut him. And she's like, I don't see how that's my problem. And I'm like,
that's the energy you need to have when somebody does something.
We got your back, baby. Like,
yes. Exactly.
I love it.
Man, that should make me feel so
really
good.
Example. Yes.
That should make me feel so good.
Kill it and put it out there and do it unapologetically, because it's wrong.
Think about the bag she threw away to expose a racist.
Scratch that. Think about the bag he threw away by choosing to be
a racist. Exactly. but what I'm saying is, okay, now imagine you have two options. You're like, I can either call out this one racist, or I can date this guy and get a lot of dough and live the life I want to. Fuck him. You know what I mean? That is the coolest thing in the world to me. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's fire, man.
Love it.
I love it.
Great.
That's fire.
Remember I told you guys that I had something to talk about, but I forgot what it was. I remembered it.
Okay, do yourself a favor and write it down unless it's absolutely relevant.
Is it relevant right now?
I don't think we've gotten deep enough in. So I'll say
write it down somewhere, and we will come back to you. I promise.
Make sure you don't forget it. Why don't we go ahead? I think that's a good spot then, Breeze. Let's go ahead and talk about likewise all of the reactions and stuff that have been going on. This is like a very sensitive time. This is also a time where social media is obviously extremely relevant in our culture. And so what that does is that opens up an opportunity for everybody to have a voice. And some people are using their voice correctly, positively. Some people are not. Sometimes there's smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. Sometimes it's very genuine. What do you guys think about like either organizers, celebrities, individuals, companies like that have spoken out in either a positive or negative way? Like, why don't you guys shed some light on a couple of those and tell me like how you feel?
Let me blanket it. I want to preface it and blanket it, because a lot of it we understand, because we think this way and we're trying to get to one of these positions one day, that a lot of people didn't speak because it was bad business, and a lot of people are speaking now because it's bad business, and your actual beliefs may or may not be in line with what even comes out of your mouth and what is happening. And you mean like a lot of people, to add to the smoke and mirrors thing, they're speaking because they have to, and that's why it's really easy to do it right or do it wrong, because you're not even. I can believe that you may have wanted to speak before and it was bad business, and I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed. And now that you're speaking, when you do it wrong, I'm still, again, I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed, because even if you wanted to before, or whatever the reason is, you have a responsibility to do it right.
To do it and do it the correct way. Exactly. Yeah. Especially at a time when, like you said, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it right now. Right now, it's kind of the cool thing to do. And we're seeing a lot of people do it they're, let's be real, call it what it is. They're blowing smoke out of their ass. That's really what it is.
They're doing it to be safe.
Right. And we'll start with the NFL, man, on the same subject of Jake Fromm. Yeah, man, I really feel like it's bullshit. It's all
you gotta
bullshit,
apologize to Kaepernick before you do anything in this world.
The first thing that should have came out of this man's mouth was, Cap, I'm an idiot.
Colin, we're wrong.
I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
Pick a team. Pick a team. Right. They will take you. Second to that, we fucked up by not listening to Cap. My biggest issue with the whole thing is he's like, yeah, well, the NFL did a problem. We messed up by not listening to players. You didn't listen to Cap.
Right. And so since our last pod, let me kind of break down for everybody listening and watching what kind of how this all came into fruition. So the first thing that happened Tuesday after our last pod, on Tuesday, everybody did Blackout Tuesday, which, don't get me wrong, that's cool. However, I'm kind of more of a action speak kind of person. And so okay, so you blacked out your picture. All right, well, you're just being silent just like you were before. That's just an excuse to continue to be silent. I'm not really that kind of dude. But
yeah, I wasn't behind that.
Cool, whatever. Cool.
I was in the middle on that one.
Yeah, same. I was in the middle,
line on account of
also do something.
Well, that was that for me. The purpose of the day should have been, today is the day that you listen. So I waited until Wednesday to be kind of frustrated with all you did was blackout. Today was the day that you go get some information. Tomorrow, show me what you got.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it started with that on Tuesday, and where I got extremely frustrated was that's when I started seeing people, in particular in the NFL, participating in his complete bullshit. The very first thing that I saw when I opened up my motherfucking Twitter was the San Francisco 49ers checkmarked page on Twitter reposting, talking about we stand with our community, Black Lives Matter. You have the same exact management and ownership that was there whenever you blackballed Colin Kaepernick. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? So Twitter ate them all the way up. And then moving forward after that, what happened was the NFL players basically, to my understanding, got together behind Roger Goodell's back and the rest of the association's back. And they made this video, and you could tell it's like kind of cell phone footage put together. And all of them are talking and saying, hey, I am George Floyd. I am Breonna Taylor. Black lives do matter. The league is not the league without us. And so what we're asking is that the NFL, you guys pledge to say, hey, our community is important. Black lives do matter. Our protests are important. Our voice is important. Within the hours, shit started changing, and Roger Goodell came out with a statement
with his head
and didn't
3/4 of the way up his ass.
Colin Kaepernick didn't say his name, didn't apologize to him. He said, "Hey, we've handled things wrong, and we pledge to, go after systematic racism, and we know that there's racism in our league, and we're going to tackle it. And we have black players here, and they make up our league." And he didn't at all talk about how Colin Kaepernick was literally the start of this whole thing, and they fucked up.
You know what it felt like to me? You know how in Big Daddy, when the little dude pees in the bed, he just throws some fucking newspaper on it, doesn't clean it, just throws some paper on it.
Bro,
and then 20 minutes later, homie spills half a gallon of milk, and he just puts some more newspaper on it. Clean up the fucking mess first. You can't just put something on it. Yo, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. I think Breeze said it in pre-production, man, and I'm going to steal your words right out of your mouth, Breeze. Or it might have been Teddy. You're trying to put a Band-Aid.
It was me.
Band-Aid on a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
That was James' words.
That was me.
Man,
you can't. It's not a thing. It doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
You're going to have to take the bullet out. You're going to have to stitch it up. You have to go to what you did first and clean that up before you can just, hey, don't hate us.
Absolutely.
No, you're still wrong.
And look, I understand that we're way far past the point of trying to give this man a job or whatever. You guys held your little bullshit open tryout. Okay. No teams obviously
took 2 chances to get it right.
I personally think that the man is still fit to be at least a backup quarterback. There's definitely some quarterbacks that we could name who could use him as a starting quarterback. We're not going to jump too deep into that. But what I will say is that you could still do something. If you're really going to take a step, why don't you give that man a job behind this organization for the advancement of the Players Association?
Yeah, I think they need to open a lane.
Why don't you make him that guy? So I had that
conversation.
I had that conversation earlier, and my thing was, what you should have said first was either Cap pick a team or Cap pick a job. and we're going to give you all the money that you should have gotten. And while I was having it, I thought, you know what, Cap probably not even going to take it. He's going to fuck around and donate it to everything that happened after he started the protest, every person that was lost after. This is for their families, but I will pick a job. I will now be the ambassador of this cause for you, and you're going to pay me for it. You're right.
And you know what? That would have been very sufficient, even if he wasn't the head or the organizer of the entire thing. They definitely should have given him a chair on that situation.
Yeah.
Because, to my understanding, they're also bringing back the right for the players to kneel. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
And so it's like,
and they always have the right. They
always have the right. They just were finding them and whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just the risk they're taking. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's like this is the same exact thing as being like, hey guys, weed is legal now. We're gonna go ahead and profit off of that. And I'm standing here like, hey yo, but you have like
this guy in jail
for like little grams of weed, man. Like, what are you talking about right now?
You
like,
can't just decide it's okay now. Let him out.
You have to clean up the mess first. You said it perfectly, and I agree, man. I mean, what do you guys think about it? Like, do you guys think that it's bullshit? Do you think that it's like a step in the right direction? Do you think there's any positivity behind like what Roger Goodell is saying?
All of the above.
Yeah,
it is a bullshit step in the right direction.
Yeah,
it is.
I think that,
bro, you're on a lake and it's cracking, and it cracked in front of you, but you took a nice enough jump that there's a chance you could save yourself. But you're already sinking. You waited too long. You already fucked up. So it's a bullshit step in the right direction. Some change may come from it, but you got to go backwards. It has to be retroactive.
I think that they're not being genuine in their apology and everything. And the only good thing that might come as a result is that the players won't be scrutinized so much for kneeling or protesting however they see fit. Like the NFL is on way too thin a ice to be like finding somebody or telling them to stand up or doing anything like that anymore.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. And another cool thing is that like it's nice to see that Kaepernick's message has like never really been swept under the rug. Like regardless of him like not being in the league and stuff, like the cultural impact that he's made is just it's really cool. And into what Aiden said, like it's gonna be nice that these players aren't gonna be like so looked at in a negative light for what they're doing. And can finally like kind of voice their opinions like how they do in the NBA.
One of my biggest things was when everybody was like, "Ha!" Now, like when the wrong side of the fence was like, "Ha!" Now he's done. Ha ha! You lost your job. Now what? My biggest thing was, I promise you that job will not be lost in vain. I promise you. Because they fucked up so colossally. It's such a big moment now. It's not going to go away. What you should have did was leave him alone. If you weren't going to support him, you should have just left him be. You can't bring this much attention to an issue incorrectly and think that it's just going to disappear.
Look, check this out. Look, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when, because I am hopeful that in the near future this is going to become the norm, and we are going to finally get the equality that we're looking for. When this happens, you literally just gave this man, and I don't know. I don't want to sound insensitive to like my fellow Black community, but you're almost giving this man like a Jackie Robinson seat at the table in your league.
Oh, for sure.
You're giving this man a spot in the history books that looks so bad on you guys. Yeah. No one is ever going to forget this moment in NFL history. Like it's always going to be talked about that you guys literally suppressed what this guy was trying to do and later walked it back, and now
literally
he's the person that paved the way. Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
you literally like this to me. You built the man a statue, but you just didn't unveil it yet, and it's too late because the statue is there. It's just a matter of time. Jackie Robinson was perfect. I had a conversation with somebody else, and they, not irresponsibly, but it's just not the same level. They were like, he's going to now be in that conversation with Malcolm and Martin, and he is technically in that conversation. However, more specifically, Jackie is perfect for that. That's the conversation. He's deliberate. He specifically belongs in now, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Right.
I honestly think that I would be happier if Kaepernick did not return to the NFL in any capacity. Because I feel like at this point, and he's bigger than football.
He definitely is way bigger. And,
for sure.
That's what's cool, man.
You disrespected him so massively that he's an icon that honestly, he may not have become if he was just playing.
100%.
You've pushed him to a level that
he
may not have reached just as an athlete. You ruined it.
And I don't think he's done either, because his organization has been getting a lot of donations during this time too. And so it's going to be nice to really see him explode in an avenue that what's funny, it's like in an avenue that I don't think he was ever really pursuing, but it was like the burden fell on him, and he basically said,
"I got
it.
I'm willing to do this.
I'll put the really backpack on and pick up the whole squad. It's all good."
And that's real, man. That's real too, because I mean, to speak to like the burden that he was willing to carry. I mean, how many people do you think have wanted to speak up on it for how long?
Yeah, and willing to lose their NFL job, bro.
Exactly, man. I mean, they literally were like, "Yo, from now on, if you kneel, we're gonna fine you." And it dropped from hundreds of players to tens of players, literally within the week, just like that, man. They were losing a couple $1,000s, and now, I mean, this guy's without a job, and he was like, "You said it yourself, man. I mean, he became bigger than football." You and Aiden put it really well. So, yeah, man, the NFL they fucked up. It was
fumbled hard.
It's a half-assed excuse, man. But I still have hope that they can try to figure it out, man, and make amends.
That's why I went
I'm gonna be excited
in the right direction for sure.
I'm excited to see how the fans react when players start kneeling again and actually start voicing their opinions, because there's a lot of racist people that watch football because of the fact that it's almost pro-racist.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
And so it's gonna be really funny to see. It's gonna be real funny to see Drew Brees just get absolutely demolished on the field. You know what I mean?
So Brees, is that the one you were watching this week, man? What do you think? Go ahead, talk about it.
Saints have the worst O-line in the league.
Yeah, bro. If I was on the Saints O-line, I'd be like, nah. You got him.
Go ahead, Doug.
Nah, but I mean, it's just the same thing that you said about the NFL. I mean, it's just it's funny because we heard what you said the first time, and that means that we're not listening the second time. But like you can't go back like that, and it makes me so mad. I guess it shouldn't make me mad. Maybe some people are more understanding than I am. But like, I just don't like that people are forgiving with this guy, that they're like, nah, man, he understands now. We had a good talk. He gets it. And I'm like, nah, bro. That's how shit gets swept under the rug,
I think Gray said it in pre-production, or he might have said it kind of when we first came on. You can't walk back and take without walking it fucking back. You're trying to walk back some irresponsible shit you said, but you started from where you ended. You know what I mean? Like, no. Go back to the start where you pushed over the old lady and pick her up, because that's not okay.
And here's the thing: is I wanted to initially ask you guys how you guys felt as 20-year-old young men with no leadership from a president. Like during while this whole thing's going on, this dude is literally hiding, bro, and like not saying anything.
Isn't he in a bunker?
Positive, yeah. Like he's not saying anything to help. He's not doing anything. Not taking. He's basically just declaring war on his own people.
I was gonna say he's doing something. He's putting gas in.
Right.
He's ducking up behind buildings and just pouring a bunch of gasoline in the streets. Like, let's see what happens.
See, and here's the thing: is I think with that lack of leadership, it goes to people like Drew Brees, who are just like, "Yo, I see this is happening. No one said anything about it. Oh, it's still about the flag, right?" It's like, nah, man. Like, there is just no sense of direction in this country. Like, how is your head so far up your ass that you genuinely still think this is about disrespecting the flag, dog?
Right,
like,
right.
Turn on a TV.
Yeah, like, what are you thinking about, bro?
And not only that, but I think you have to be even more of a fucking
doofus,
psychotic.
It's called diminished capacity.
You got
without.
That's a good way to put it. Why don't you go ahead and define that for people that might not understand what that quite means?
I would, but they wouldn't understand it. So just go ahead, bud. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's you. If you're sitting here and you're like, well, yeah, but they're disrespecting the flag. You're not. It's not clicking. Your alternator's bad. You're turning the key and it's not clicking over, dog.
And here's the thing, man. You have to be the most ignorant of jackasses to think that whenever you say it's disrespectful and my two grandfathers didn't die for people to do this. Number
You
one,
see what
yes,
Shannon
they did.
Sharp said?
Number one, yes, they did. Number two,
They did.
for you to think that we also don't have uncles, aunts, grandparents that served that are also telling us, yo, I fought for this right. I support what you're doing. You're insane. You're you're ridiculous. You're crazy, bro. You're absolutely outside of your mind. Yo, if I think that if Orlando Breeze gains 100 pounds, he's beating the shit out of Drew Brees.
I'll beat the shit out of Drew Brees' grandpa right now.
Battle of the Breeze.
Oh man, not his grandpa.
Where's he at? I'm glad his grandpa didn't say nothing. Listen. Shannon Sharp. No. Shannon Sharp said it the best, bro. He said, not only, okay, Drew, okay, every other guy like Drew, yeah, your grandpa may have went and fought in these wars for our freedoms, but so did your black and brown brothers and eventually sisters. And when they came home, they were not given the same freedoms that they went over there to fight for that your white grandparents were able to have. So shut the fuck up. That flag means nothing. It's like the people in the South with the Confederate flags. You're losers, just like the South was. Motherfucker, it's not about your heritage. Just like Stone Cold Steve Austin said, you're a fucking loser, piece of shit. Your heritage is backed by racism and slavery and
exactly
losers, dog. Get that shit out of my face. I'll fuck Drew Brees up right now, dog.
Orlando Breeze, ladies
I'll send
and
him
gentlemen.
to the Saints. I'll send him to the Saints.
If you don't know how to advocate for your friends of color, that's how. That is how.
What's happening,
just
bro?
State the facts and do it with some passion. Because it's
real.
Aiden,
have you seen anybody this week that you either wanted to like kind of applaud or that you thought was kind of all bullshit this week? Speak out and say something like in the community. I mean, everybody's doing it right now. I guess, like, do you have an opinion of someone that did it the right way, the wrong way?
Yeah, you know what I think is that I've been seeing like watching, I don't know if they started doing it before this week, but I just noticed it this week, is that like Netflix and Hulu, Amazon, even like when I got on the PlayStation to play Call of Duty, the very first message that pops up, it's like hashtag Black Lives Matter. We are an ally. We stand behind all these protests and everything. And it's like, that's really cool because that's something that everybody's going to see. It's not just like a poster. Not to say that the holding up a poster or anything is wrong, but like that's the most accessible platform to everybody across the whole nation.
Reach is so big.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
I don't mean to make it sound like that's not important what you just said, but we talked about in pre-production how you get on Call of Duty, you see Black Lives Matter, and you get in a match and someone calls you a nigger in the first 3 seconds.
I feel racist laughing at that.
Hold up. Look, there's different communities of people who play Call of Duty. Like when I play Call of Duty with you guys, it's cool. We're just chilling, having a good time, trying to get some W's.
Kicking back, baby.
But when you get on with the high schoolers and the middle schoolers, they want your mom dead, they want your cousins dead, they want reckless, bro.
Coming for blood.
Yo, this is completely off track. However, it's hilarious because it happened and I loved it. I figured out how to accidentally turn on my proximity chat the other day, and I was playing in a match, and my whole team got wiped out, and I was in like a little fucking ATV. And I ran over some dude, and as I run over him, he goes, "You're a fucking pussy for running me over." And it was the funniest moment of my life because I didn't know the proximity chat worked. So I like hit him and then turned around and went back, and he's like, "Oh, you're a pussy for running me over again." And it was the funniest shit of my life. So I was like, "Bro, you're gonna die. I'm not jumping out of the car."
I gotta play that game, bro. I gotta jump on and play with y'all.
You have it.
Just
get on.
That's cool.
But back to the Jesse's question. I just want to jump in here and say, I don't want to like just shout out a bunch of different people, but one of my favorite ones that really caught my attention was Lego, because they donated $4 million, pretty respectable, and then they pulled all of their police sets from the shelves.
That is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing.
Wildest thing in the game.
That is amazing.
Dog.
Big ups, Lego.
Yeah, big ups, Lego, dog.
Super duper commendable. Absolutely.
Those bricks.
So my response to Gray's question, I err on the side of hoping people mean well. And so one of the ones that I saw that kind of ticked me the wrong way, only because the intention was good and the execution was poor, was Ellen. I'm of the belief that Ellen DeGeneres means well and meant well the whole time. And she's one of those, I can't now because it's bad business, and in the most hopeful way, I have more to offer if I don't, you know what I mean, put a cloud over my own business from the popular opinion. So I'll just do my stuff behind the scenes. I haven't checked it, but that's just what my head tells me. Ellen probably is one of those people.
So you're shouting out Ellen DeGeneres in hope that she did something.
No.
There's more to it. I just had to preface it with saying that the public opinion of Ellen DeGeneres should be that she's not a piece of shit. And coming from that perspective, when she overcautiously used people of color in her attempt to support the movement, I don't think that the Black community's response was responsible. And I mean that to say, if the effort is there, she said she put out a statement that was basically like, I'm with the Black Lives Matter movement and people of color are being oppressed. The issue was she said people of color. And it's just, you're just being overly cautious. Yeah. So people fired her up for saying, Ellen, it's cool, you can say Black people. And my thing is,
she already said Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. And my thing is when the attempt is honest, or that it should be, and you have enough evidence to decide, she probably meant well, I think it's more responsible for us to educate those people instead of crucifying them.
See, and this is me and James talked about this, and this is where we both are kind of like on the fence about it. It's a really hard line of when you do that, trying to figure out who's tiptoeing because they don't want to fuck up their money because they're racist and they've never known the right thing because they're racist and they haven't been around enough.
And they haven't not even that, but they haven't even suffered their own, pitfalls and obstacles enough to be on the correct side of it.
To be on the right side of it, and versus like he said, who's trying to educate themselves genuinely, but they're on eggshells because it's a sensitive time. It's a weird line, man.
It's a very, very thin line.
Yeah. To add to your line, what I think too, because I don't want to come off as like an apologizer or anything, but I think that there are a lot of people out there who have never had to, who their privilege is that they've never had to address anything like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's never been at their front door. It's never been at their downtown. It's never been at their business. It's never been across their feed and stuff like that. And so it's like, how do I pick the right words to talk about something that I've never really had to address and never really had to face because it never affected me. And with that, I just say you got to do your due diligence and do your research, dog, because we'll light your ass up on Twitter, dog. I don't give a fuck.
I'll light your ass up in real life.
Yeah, so for me, like I understood the energy behind it, and I'm not at all reprimanding any Black person that was like, hey, relax, Ellen, you can say Ellen. I just say that if we're expecting people to be better, we also have to stay where we were. You know what I mean? If I'm here and I need you to get here as far as understanding or whatever, I can't go down to your level to tell you you're an idiot. I got to stay up here. And I feel like that's an easy way to discern that line is just put enough of the pieces together to go, this one probably meant well, let's be nice. You know what I mean? Or let's use tough love instead of fuck you. You know what I mean? It's
where my devil's advocate comes in, and this is like my actual belief is that
sorry.
I also feel in a sense, I mean, don't get me wrong, we do have a voice and we have to use our platform the right way and so on and so forth. But I also feel in a sense that it's frustrating because it's not my job to educate you. It's not my job to educate you. So in a sense, there's sometimes, some people are like, you should not make them feel so bad because maybe they're trying. But like, why didn't you do your research and why didn't you educate yourself?
Yeah. That's what I meant by due diligence.
On it. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why the line is so thin. And like, you could go either way. I'm just more on the positive side of it, saying, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Don't fuck it up. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing that I meant to say, man.
There's no condemnation. There's no right or wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at anybody on either side of it because I get it. It's just kind of I would have went differently, and I think that at least I'm hoping that at least some people on my perspective of it are out there doing that.
Right. And that's the other thing that I was going to say, man. Like, look how forgiving the Black culture and the Black community is. Look how loving the Black culture and the Black community is. Genuinely, how fucked up is it?
Look at this guy.
How
I've seen it happen.
Hey, jerk!
This dude's bigging it up.
You tell your woman to stop being nice to you because I'm sick of this shit.
I just forgot to get all this stuff during
a bottle of wine, sir.
Oh no, it's Jameson.
Oh, okay.
Like a mix of that Dr. K.
Sorry, Greg. Do you? Yeah, no, fuck this guy.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Look how loving and look how forgiving the Black culture is at heart, man. For people that don't know, for people that are like instantly scared of Black people because of the way that they look or because of what you might have taken away from the media or from your family growing up or for whatever it may or may not have been. Like hip hop is a Black culture thing. Look how inviting hip hop is. Of like so many things are classified under hip hop today. So many different cultures are a part of hip hop today. Like we're so inviting. Look at how when we see officers do like fucked up shit and yeah, even though we might be mad, we still sometimes say like, yo, like, you know, I've had run-ins with good police officers or whatever, you know, but how come on the other side it's not the same? It's because like at our actual core, like the Black community, the like Black culture, like love and forgiveness is genuinely at the core of Black culture. And that's something that people really, really have to understand. That's really important. If you grew up in a Black household, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's really important, man. Like that people understand that.
Sorry, Aiden, let me just add to this, Jesse. I'm not Black, so I can't really speak to it, but will you touch on, okay, so going back a little bit to, you know, like people who aren't Black trying to educate themselves. I think what you said is good because a lot of times in my experience, maybe just because my really close friends are Black, but like anytime I have questions, they're really open to answering them. That way I don't speak out of character. And I think that if you aren't Black, like you could ask someone before you were to make a statement or anything like that for guidance. That way, you know, if you've never had to speak on something like this before, you don't come across as ignorant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Breeze is exactly what he's saying is perfect, man. It's I've been to a lot of protests this week, and one gentleman in particular had a sign that really, really spoke to me, and it said, "Pull up a chair, let's talk."
Oh shit!
At first, that doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't mean anything to you until he spoke, and what he was saying was, "You look at me." And you see these tattoos and you see the color of my skin and you're scared of me. He's like, don't worry. Don't lie. I know you're scared of me. It's okay. Don't lie. You don't have to lie. I know you're scared of me, but pull up a chair and let's talk. Figure out who I am.
Yes.
Figure out that I'm a girl dad. I'm a father of two young women. Figure out that I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Figure out that I a bachelor.
Somebody said bachelor's degree? I'm playing.
My guy's fishing it up, dog.
Gotcha. He was close earlier. He baited the hook earlier, and I thought that he was going to reach for it then, and I left him alone because I didn't want to flame him. And he walked right past it, and I was good. I was happy with it.
No, Jesse, but that's beautiful what you're saying because I seen like an ad similar to that. But it was like old, and somebody had shared it on Twitter, and it was basically this dude saying, before you call the cops, here's what you need to know about me. And he's basically saying like, yeah, like I'm a father. I like to do this. I like to go here. I listen to this type of music. Yeah.
And it's like regular human stuff, just that everybody does.
It's like, why are you so afraid? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that message is really strong.
It's
I'm glad that people are out there pushing it.
Exactly. So I say that to say that if you have questions, it's okay. Don't feel don't feel like I'm not
afraid.
going to make you feel like an idiot just because you asked me a question about how things are done in my household and why, or why I move a certain way, or why I act a certain way, talk a certain way, why this, why that, why this, why that. As long as you approach me and you're respectful about it,
then it's
I'm gonna educate you about it, and I'm not gonna make you feel stupid about it, and that's important. So like, don't just wave me around like your fucking special napkin at the dinner table. Oh, my black friend. I have a black friend. You know what I mean? That's not what this shit is about. Invite me to your Thanksgiving dinner, though. Invite me over to watch movies with you like you do with your friends, so you can figure out who I am, what I mean, what I stand for, and what other people like me are like, and what they stand for. Don't just dangle me. You know what I mean? That's my black friend, and that's what a lot of people do, man. And so it's important that if you have black friends and you truly consider them your friends, your family, you need to figure out why they are the way they are and who they are, especially because that's the problem. Like, we don't know who Black America is, and that's why a lot of people are scared of Black people. Just ask. Come find out.
To touch on that too is like I think my first, not even first, but like my biggest realization that people were a lot more racist than they even knew is when people would be afraid of me growing up, and up until I was 17 or 18, I was not some imposing figure. I was a tiny little nerdy black kid with Coke bottle frames, like playing RPGs with my friends at recess. Like, it didn't make sense for people to be afraid of me. And I'm probably the most approachable black person you'll meet 75% of the time. Like,
James was in third grade talking about some
no, I'll tell you, I was in third grade singing Confessions at the top of my lungs.
Excuse me, sir, but I speak very eloquently. There's nothing to be shy about.
And people are like, oh God, another one. And I'm like, what? Bro, I'm 3'5". I shouldn't be scary to you. You should not immediately be like, black kid, what do we do? Nothing.
Yo, I seen this kid. He was like a little kid, probably like 8-7 years old. I don't know how old kids are, how they look at a certain age, because I'm not weird. But he was a young kid, like a baby kid. And he had a sign that said, and what?
I don't like baby kid because you blurred the line for me now.
It's weird.
I don't know.
When you said young kid, I had an idea in my head, like, okay, probably like 5 years old. And then you said baby kid, I was like,
not just a big ass 2-year-old.
It's like a kid. It's like a kid that could talk, but like they're not.
He says funny words. He's like 4 or 5,
like 6. Yeah, maybe around there.
Okay.
Anyway, dude, listen. He had this sign, and it said, he was a black kid. And he said, at what age do I stop being adorable and become dangerous? Or something along those lines. And I was like, bruh.
That's powerful.
He's spitting right now, bro.
That's powerful.
Yeah, he's spitting right now, because for real, like, and it's sad. And that's why I'm glad that you guys touched on that, because I think that in the same light that, racism stems from fear, I think a lot of ignorance also stems from fear.
Oh, for sure.
And so people might also be afraid to ask, and it's like, you know what I mean? Just ask me, or not me, obviously, but like, for you guys, or I guess you could ask me too.
Well, that's my thing. That's my thing.
You can ask me too. Yeah, you can probably ask Aiden too. Like, why don't all lives matter? I'll let you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's not my job to educate you, but I will. The part for me is I'm not going to look for you to teach you. I'm not going to
do your due diligence.
Your due diligence. Use your resources. Yeah. Pick up a book. Watch an interview, and then ask the people that are around you. If you
let me put it like this:
you can benefit from them. Use them. Ask the black friend that you've had for 5 years that maybe you haven't talked to in 6 months. Hey, man, what was it like? What was the difference between your life and mine? Ask. It's okay.
This is the two scenarios. It's like Bree said. If you come to me and you ask me, hey, why do I not say all lives matter? I'm going to say X, Y, Z. But if you come to me and you don't ask and you just say, hey, all lives matter, I'm going to teach you why you don't say that. And I'm going to knock your ass out. It's that simple, bro.
How many times do we have to tell you, old man?
And that's another thing, by the way. Y'all motherfuckers better keep that same motherfucking energy. I see the Twitter fingers. If you see me in public, I know you. I see you. If you don't say that to my face, we have an issue. And I'm going to call you out on it when I see you. When I come around you, you better say it. You better have that same energy. I promise you.
Bro, that's why I deactivated my Facebook,
week, man.
Because I was about to start beating people up.
Ooh, man.
I was about to start telling people, I'm over here right now. Please meet me over here.
Just go kick it out apart.
Man, it's to that point. You're with us or you're against us. Yeah. It's simple.
But
I feel like I've been cutting off Aiden this whole time. Aiden, you had a point.
Yeah, you did have a point.
Yeah, straight up. I haven't been cut off a lot. Every time, no, but I've been holding back too, because every time you guys are in a very serious moment, me being one of the funniest people that you all know, I have something super funny to say and just make a great joke, but I don't think that this is the time or place necessary.
My friend, you don't know how hard this is.
I was gonna say it's for all of us. That's not just you. You just gotta put them in strategically, and like when something's getting a little too heavy, shoot that joke out there.
And look, man, here's the thing too: is we have a job to educate people on our platform, but we had a heavy podcast last week, so I'm cool with joking around. Man.
Try to keep them engaged.
Reese has a big nose. Let's make fun of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in the spirit of keeping it light, I forgot what I was going to say.
But what I did with his ODB glasses.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, Breeze, give me a
Oh man, I wish.
How does that line go from Humpty, dude? I had a perfect line from him.
Some man, my nose is large. I look funny.
Yeah.
I wish. This is one of the things where I wish like blackface wasn't a bad thing, because you could get it off, dog. That's a Halloween costume.
Imagine if I would have
had to uppercut you.
Aiden, if you would have said that, I would have been like, yo, you're still in Albuquerque, right? Close.
Don't worry, guys. I'll say the controversial things that my skin allows.
That's funny.
You're a racist.
Man, I'm just extra black.
So, one more thing, I guess, like on the same topic of BLM, and then we'll move to some lighter stuff. How did you guys feel? I've been seeing a lot of stuff floating around about defunding the police, and me and Aiden talked about it a little bit pre-pod. So
I also
Aiden.
I talked to a couple cops about this too. So
yeah, so Aiden, why don't you start us off, since we kept on cutting you off, bro? How do you feel about kind of like the idea of defunding the police, and also, what do you think that necessarily means? Do you think that means that we altogether unravel it as a whole, or do you think that just means give them less money until they get their fucking act right? Like, what do you think that means, and how do you think that may or may not help like the community? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what brought this to my attention is that I saw footage from one of the protests going on in Minneapolis, and I think the mayor of Minneapolis was there, and he was getting like booed out of the crowd because he had refused to completely disband the police department. I didn't look. I saw that like 5 minutes before we came on here. I didn't check too much into it, but it sounded like they wanted the police department completely disbanded. And I was like, it's not an inherently bad idea to have police, but there just needs to be a total restructure, start from the ground up, clean slate. I do think that we still need police out here, but yeah, it's going to be a long road to completely restructure the whole organization and the schemas and the mindset and everything that they learn in the academy, and just everything that the whole police as an organization is breeding toxicity and like this crazy stuff. Like, I think it was just tonight, I was at dinner with somebody. They were showing me the video. You seen the dude who got pushed over in Buffalo, the old guy.
Oh man.
I'm so glad.
So the worst part about that video, they pointed it out to me, I hadn't even noticed it. The dude that pushed him over,
he doesn't,
it genuinely it was a rude thing to do, but he actually bent down to pick him up, and there was a guy behind him who I assume was like the sergeant or something, grabbed him. He grabbed him back up and told him to keep walking. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff that like the whole mindset needs to change and do a 180.
Absolutely, man. Because where does your job as a first responder come in? You have been, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, I believe as a police officer, you have to know first aid to an extent. Yes. So where does your job as a first responder come in, man? You know what I mean? Like, I believe that even if you have a license in CPR, you can be arrested for being on the scene and not administering CPR. Correct. So as an officer, how can you not suffer the same consequences for not administering first aid and making sure that somebody's okay? It's right. Just not acceptable.
I'm really glad that you took it that way, because my input for this wasn't on the vein of defunding. I reached out to two of my, literally, again, the 10 most important people in my life. 3 of them are cops. I reached out to 2 of them to try to figure out, because for me, I go through this fucking spiral every morning where I just watch a bunch of videos that piss me off every single morning. For the purpose of trying to figure out where the disconnect is, where people are fucking up. And a couple days ago, it seemed to me like the military and the police, just in general, they're taught, right, to control their fight or flight, to be able to activate it on command, from going from this conversation here to getting a phone call and going, oh shit, some shit's going down. I need to be on a high alert. I need to be on 10. And I need to do it so specifically and melodically and technically sound that I don't miss anything, right? So you're taking someone, and again, I think an important part is the whole process to become a fucking police officer. You go through so much. You go through a psych eval. You go through your own interview. They interview every person whose name you even thought to put on your application. Like, I've gotten 3 of these phone calls personally. So that you go through all of these steps and they figure out that you're more of an even-keeled person to begin with. So you take this person who usually operates in the middle, who's not a hothead, who's not entirely too pacifist, that they're in the middle, and you teach them how to turn their shit on at the drop of a dime. To me, the disconnect seemed like there's not enough training to turn them how to turn that shit off after they gain control. You're taught to be able to, someone takes off and sucks you in the face and has a gun. You're taught to take that all the way down to dudes in handcuffs, right? How are you taught to turn your fight or flight back off? And one of the people told me that it's a deep breath technique. That it's the same thing that the military uses. And it's literally after you've regained control, you're supposed to be able to take one deep breath and bring yourself back down. Now, I, as a regular person, and I'm relatively even-keeled, I'll cuss you the fuck out, but I'm not going to swing every time. I might educate you. I'm one of those. I'll educate you before I knock you the fuck out.
I've never swung, for the record.
We know.
Not me, dog. Me and Breeze, you know where that's at.
Breeze gets beat up at the club.
I got into a fight this year.
So for me, as an even-keeled person, I know for a fact, once I'm ready to knock you the fuck out, it takes 3 hours for me to come back down. You say 6 words that piss me off and I decide to go on a 20-minute rant, I'm on that rant for an hour, even after the conversation has ended, because I'm that amped up. So it doesn't make sense to you tell me, hey, I know you just had a gun in your face and did that and third and survived it. Take a deep breath and you should be fine. No. And then I asked even further, like, how much of the training encompasses that? And to me, it seemed like a really clear fix. The disparity between the training for turning your fight or flight all the way up and being able to de-escalate a situation is 1 to 3 or 2 to 3. And it doesn't seem smart. It doesn't seem like a smart move to teach people how to turn that shit on and not give them adequate, equal, or even repetitive training to bring it back down. One of my guys, I even pitched it to him, like, what if once a month you spent one day or a weekend or a whole fucking 40, a whole week on a rotation once every 6 months, not once a month, because that would be a lot. Once every 6 months or whatever, when you have to do your reevals for everything else, you go through another de-escalation training. Because another thing that kept popping up to me is it's always a guy who has more than one offense in this nature. And there is a process for that. And you go through like when you fuck up and you have a certain amount of complaints, they make you go back through that portion of the training that you're missing, because clearly you're missing, right? But there's not a 3-strike system for it. So you got the guy that's been on the force for 8, 9, 10 years and has 8, 9, 10 of these complaints. It seems to me that the reality of doing the job at some point overcomes the training. And that's where your prejudice would come in. So what if once a year, every 6 months, when you had a re-eval for something else, you were re-taught how to de-escalate? So to combat the reality of doing the job. Because depending on where you are, you may only get the drug dealers and the thugs and the gangsters. You may only do that because that's the area you work or the city you're in or whatever. You're in Chicago. That's what you're going to see. You know what I mean? But there should be some kind of way to combat that. And it didn't seem like there was enough of it.
James, let me. I hate to jump in here, but
speaking
to what you're saying of like just kind of rehashing these ideas and trainings. What's so upsetting to somebody like me is that I used to work in the OR. I now work in the labs. Every 3 months, I have to redo all of my courses. Every 3 months, bro. And it's not just technique. It's not just safety stuff. It's like the personal knowledge. Stuff. It's ethics and moral stuff. I've worked in the OR where I've had to prep somebody for surgery who had swastikas tattooed on their chest. Like, do you know how crazy that would be in any other profession? If, let's say 10 years ago, I took some moral and ethic class and 10 years later, I never did. And this dude comes in with the swastika and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. No, it's hammered into our brain.
Right. And that was the biggest analogy. You're sorry. The biggest analogy that I made is the variety of interactions that you get into is the same as a retail worker. Yeah, every situation is different. And why is it for every other kind of job where the variety is that much? You're checked daily. I'm right behind you when you fuck up because you read the situation wrong and upset that guy when you didn't have to, and I know you have the skills to do it. I check it right then and there as your manager. Hey, what you should have done was let him tell you what you wanted instead of assuming. It's Absolutely. Every other job where you have that much variety, it's constant. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me.
And this is what's fucked up because I already know exactly where you're taking this, and then I already know exactly what somebody would argue, right? So being that I do work in grocery, I do work in customer service, and you're right. Daily, I get situations that I have to de-escalate, and every situation is going to be handled different. And to that, somebody might say, "Well, hey, but that's different because they're paying customers. The customer's always right." Well, guess what? My fucking tax money is your paycheck. I'm a customer too. My tax money I pay for your job. You are public servants. How are you gonna serve me the correct way and de-escalate a situation properly?
And what's less than that to me is, regardless, because that argument I did. Oh shit! Too loud. Oh, okay, cool. Hours.
Aiden, go ahead and jump in here.
That argument. I'm so sorry, guys. My nephew. I didn't know if I was fucking up. That argument did come up when he was like, yeah, but that's what people say. And you're right. But what's less than that is not only do you technically literally work for us, but you're in a more important position than the guy at McDonald's. The guy at McDonald's can fuck up your food, but he's supposed to agree with you. You can fuck up a life. And somehow it doesn't make sense to repetitively teach you how to read that situation correctly. Because the other argument that came up is, well, they have a split second to make that choice. And to me, the fraction of a second to make that choice, because it's at such a higher degree of error, you know what I mean? You have a split second to decide between my life and yours, or whose life, you know what I mean? You have that split second. You should have repetitive training to make sure that you're reading that split second correctly.
You know what I was going to say? Talking about what Gray said about them being a public servant. I think that another part of the problem, which is like the unspoken code, like you got your partners back to the death, like everybody in here is a family, we're going to protect each other no matter what. That's not inherently a bad thing, but when they forget that they're public servants and that their actual job that they're out here doing is to protect us to the death of them and have our back no matter what, that's when the conflict comes.
Exactly, bro.
They really have each other's back instead of the public's back, and they
which is supposed to be their job.
Yeah.
Very well put.
Speaking to defunding and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Some people might be like, well, we need these people to supposedly protect and serve. So you know what I mean? We need money, and if we want to get them adequate training, like for example, I've always wanted to be a barber, but it would take me way less to become a cop than to become a barber. So I have never went to barber school. But like just look at the difference between budgets for stuff like just anything other than being a cop.
What's in there? What does that say?
So,
cultural affairs.
Sorry.
Why don't you go ahead and read that aloud for the listeners?
So emergency management is literally as close to zero as humanly possible. So is cultural affairs. Parks and Rec is probably about $250,000. Same as transportation. Housing and community investment is probably like $100,000, and then LAPD is over $3 million. So it's like when we say defund, we're not saying
annually?
Like. Yeah. This is for 2020.
Jesus Christ.
So when you say defund, it's not like, yo, let's make these dudes go broke, right? It's kind of like, let's just kind of get things on an even playing field.
Earn the money.
Yeah, and earn it. I mean, Aiden, I'm so glad that you brought that shit up about them having each other's backs to the fullest, because I hate these little Proud Boy militias that are starting to form with the same mentalities, because that only pushes the other side to do the same. Mm-hmm. And it drives away unity, and that's insane to me.
It sure does.
That our leadership is doing nothing to combat that.
Nothing about it.
Even leadership within the police force, your higher ups, your sheriffs. I don't know what the fuck those rankings go, but like that, they're not even saying like, yo, like these are your people, not these are your people. These are your people, bro. Like
the community you know what I mean?
Yeah. The community, and not only that, but also those are your people, man.
Also, like to what you're saying, there's not anybody that's speaking up and saying, "Hey, yo, we appreciate it, but you guys are not trained. We got this. We will figure it out. Please don't come out here with your personal firearms, because guess what? For every good old boy that's out there with a pistol,
I'm coming out there with my firearm.
There's somebody out here on our side that's also got a pistol. So don't take it there, because you are going to make something happen that you don't want. This is going to become like another civil war, and 100%. It's crazy saying that, because that's why I went to go buy bullets today. But it's realistic. It's very realistic that the country could divide like that with a leader who's not speaking up, with no leaders in the police force that are not speaking up, and you got these good old boys that are coming out. You're going to have somebody else coming out from the other side with the same exact ammo.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you my experience today. So today I've been trying to tell. So a lot of people in my circle, they're not really like hip to the game other than what the news tells them, which is pretty much just trash. So I kind of have to let them know like how tense the situations really are. Mm-hmm. And so today I was like, I'm going to go buy some ammo for my 9mm, and I was also going to buy another gun, right? And I'm like, I just want to be ready because I know where it's going, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get to this, every gun store I went to, every assault rifle sold out. Every handgun sold out. There's maybe very few shotguns, but we all know those are for close up, right? And these people buying them are definitely too scared to get close up. So they're all gone. I go to I'm like, all right, let me get some 9mm ammo, I guess, like in case I'm driving and I run into some of these fucking Proud Boy militias. You know what I mean? I want to at least have like a couple mags on me. I found one box of 9mm ammo. If you don't think that these fucking good old boys are out here loading up with all their little fantasy guns and shit, bro, they are. And as wild and dangerous as it is for me to say, we might have to too.
Yeah, man. Part of that's the scary reality, man. Because and let's be responsible with our platform. Make sure that if you are going to purchase a firearm, that you understand the responsibilities that come with it, and you understand how to use it, and you understand what it means to own one. Be a responsible gun owner, please. But to Breeze's point, man, if you guys think that in the ghetto that we don't go and purchase firearms for that exact reason, that's the reality we've been living for a while now.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. Yeah. You're out of your mind. Yeah. What Breeze is saying is not that far off. There's a reason why.
Yeah. So I need to put an asterisk on what I said last pod, because it wasn't irresponsible. It just wasn't a full message. A revolution is in a way a justified war, but it's not directly the same fucking thing. This revolution will happen regardless, but it does not have to be a war.
Right.
And I think that's the disconnect.
But without leadership,
exactly.
It could become
and the good boy militias, that's what they're doing. Well, revolution means war. We got to be ready. And it's like, you didn't have to. This could have been a different kind of revolution, but your lack of leadership is allowing you to just think that's what it means. And that's why people are frowning upon the protests and stuff. And that's not exactly by the letter what it has to be. It's an option.
Right.
It's the second option. It's a very real option, and we're ready, but it's not required.
Right. And Aiden, I kind of want to hear from you on this topic because I tend to get really riled up. And so I kind of need somebody to bring me back down to earth here. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out there with just Rambo style, but in a sense, there is a sense of, I don't want to call it fear, but like readiness, because I do see where this could go. You know what I mean? So kind of what do you think about that whole ordeal?
Yeah, I mean, as far as readiness, I'm not a gun guy myself. I don't feel the need to buy a gun or anything like that. But I know people who are close to me and they are gun owners. And again, like Ray said, there's different types of gun owners. Like the people I know, they're all into the ballistics and they're putting targets out and just like for the sport of it, right? They just want to like be good at shooting. I'm not gonna lie, like it's fun. Like I enjoy going out to the range and like shooting or whatever. Like it's cool to see if you can hit. But at the same time, I've been like out at the range and there's people who show up with like the AK and they just like are blasting away at a target that's 200 yards away. They never hit it. There's like people holding the pistol sideways. And it's like that's not the type of people that have guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's not responsible gun ownership.
Yeah, I just think without leadership right now, it's really dangerous, and it's hard to walk the line of readiness and overreacting. You know what I mean? Because you always want to stay ready and not have to get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the hard part for me. Is sometimes I feel like I'm overreacting, but then I don't want to ever not be ready.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many guns you own personally, but like it's pretty
cool. One right now. That's why I was like, I need another one.
No, well, that's fine. Like one or two, whatever. Okay, that's cool. But the people who really go, they got like
the gun safe
closet with 20 guns in it and a 40 bricks of ammo stacked up in there. That's not necessary, because then that's only like keeping the resources away from the people who might even be using it responsibly and just like actually learning and getting educated.
Okay, before we
the scary part is the people who has that. The people who have that are usually these good old boys.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. There are some that are in the middle of that, because I know a couple, and the conversations I've had with them,
like a lot of
while
my
they're
cousins.
like, look at all these 35 guns. I'm like, for what? And the answer that I got the first time shut me up entirely, because he was like, you. What do you mean? Because I need the people that I care about to know that we got it somewhere. And I can't just expect, like his thing was, I didn't want to expect everybody to be ready, and then the people I love aren't. I got to know.
That's almost how I felt today. That's why I almost went and blew a whole bag, and I was like, I'm getting everybody.
And that was because I was like, you have entirely too many guns, and there's no reason for that. And he's an ex-military guy, and it made sense. And he was just like, nah, man, it's not just me. I'm my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my friends, anybody close enough to get here and need help, I got it. And I was like, oh, well.
You know what I think is that the solution to the problem lies, obviously, like Bree said, there's no leadership whatsoever for our country right now. And so I think that's the solution really lies with the heart of the people. And you can see this playing out in cities where there's protests, and on the news one night you'll see, I don't know which cities match which protests. I don't have it all nailed down like that, but there will be a city where the police kneel down with the protesters or they march with the protesters and everything is fine. Everybody's happy. They're building the community up. There's unity. Right. Everything's great. But then in other cities, you see them rolling out tanks. They got riot shields. They got the SWAT, the National Guard. They got they're bringing fire to the situation. It's only going to be met with fire as a response. And so I think that at whatever level, whether it be the police and the people or just the people in the communities independently of the police, the solution lies with us. We just need to have faith in the heart of the people that everybody's going to come together in the end and hopefully do the right thing.
And not only to have faith for it, but work towards it. Is the big thing, because the silence is equal to nothing. You know what I mean? It's literally nothing. So not only have faith in it, but put your effort in that. Put your effort in getting the 3 or 4 people closest to you to be on the same page, to understand and be on the right page, and support each other, and it will grow from there. These 4 people agree with each other and have the right idea, and then I go to my next 4, and it spreads from there. That's literally how it's going to work.
I agree. I think that's a good area to change.
What a segue.
Yeah, I was gonna segue out of it, but I think Aiden summed it up correctly. Oh, I got a segue if you want one. Let me segue for it. All right, so Aiden, you know what I mean? You're saying, you know what I mean? Kind of got to put it into people's hands and kind of just hope that this plays out like a movie. You know what I mean? And hopefully
you went the wrong direction.
It will do just that.
The good thing is, Breeze, you came a long way. The bad news is, Breeze, you went the wrong way.
Listen, I'm trying to come off the top of my head.
Look, man, this is how you do it.
This
is how you do it, man. Look, so to the point of leadership and looking to people that are saying a lot of things in a time where some people are saying things and they're blowing smoke out of their ass, and some people are, are being genuine about it. I think that an organization that has been extremely genuine is the NBA. I think that they've handled all of their stuff very well.
We were doing 2 different things.
Oh my gosh, sauced you. No. Tip your hat. You lost.
Look, man, we're excited for the NBA to be back.
It's because I had a written down. You know what? In light of that segue, I will say this. James said he doesn't eat Neapolitan ice cream.
Why are you doing this to me?
Okay, before we get into the NBA,
hold up.
Aiden, how do you feel about this guy? He literally says he buys Neapolitan ice cream.
Why are we doing this to me?
For the sole fact of eating each flavor individually instead of buying 3 different flavors of ice cream.
Not instead. Because of a lack of ability.
If you can get the Neapolitan, then you can get the rest of them.
Nah, put it in perspective. My house got 7 people in it. I got $5. I want ice cream, but I can't show up with ice cream by myself because I'll get jumped for it. So I show up with fucking Neapolitan. Bitch, I got 3 flavors, 1 bucket. We're all good.
I think but he doesn't eat them at the same time.
No. Maybe. I don't even scoop them at the same time. Chocolate on its own today, strawberry tomorrow, vanilla on Wednesday.
That being the case, you should just buy a pint of strawberry today, a pint of chocolate tomorrow.
You're not listening. That's $15. I can get a whole gallon of cheap-ass Neapolitan for $3 for an entire family. I was poor. Eat my ass.
Look, man, I think that your heart is in the right place, but I think you need a
speaking of eating ass, I'm just kidding.
Look, I know I'm a psychopath, and I don't care, okay? It made sense when I did it, and it's just stuck.
Why is Breeze not only the degree fisherman, but also the Segway queen?
Segway queen, baby.
Oh, poor guy.
But for real, we're excited the NBA is back, man.
They have handled the situation gracefully. I think,
and they did what we thought.
They get. I don't want to call it not a cultural pass, but like they do in some way, because the way that they've allowed their players to be so vocal about different situations
from the jump.
In their community, like through all time. You know what I mean? They can announce stuff like this, and we can be happy for them, as opposed to if the NFL were to come out with some goofball shit. I'd probably beat the dog shit out of Roger Goodell myself.
And you don't need 100 pounds to beat the dog shit off of him.
No, dude, I'm good, baby.
Hold on, me getting on the pod tonight is the first I heard of the NBA coming back. So what are like?
Are you serious?
Yeah, what are the young boy lives in a
go
cave.
ahead and let them know what's going on, Breeze. That's what I want you to explain all the listeners. Go ahead and preface it with how they're bringing it back, how many teams,
bringing it. So the NBA is going to come back July 31st. They're doing 22 teams. It's like it's like the 22 teams with like the best record, I guess. I thought they should have just started the playoffs, but then you got Crybaby Lillard who wanted his chance, even though 65 games wasn't enough. I guess he needed 66 or whatever.
He can beat the Magic.
I don't think so. No, he probably can't. But it's okay because the Trailblazers will trade us CJ McCollum next year, and then he'll be right back in the same spot. So. But anyway, so they're doing 22 teams. It's like the 8 from the East, 8 from the West, and then like I think there's only one other team from the East, and then like the rest from the West. And so they're gonna play a seeding like tournament of like 8 games. I think it is. I have it right here. I want to say it's like 8 games. Yeah, like 8 seeding games. Yeah,
summer league style.
Yeah, and then so after that, whoever's records match up will be in the playoffs 1 through 7. But that 8th seed, if the 8th seed is ahead of the next person by more than 4 games, so that means that like within this 8-game spree, they've made a jump to 4 more games ahead, then they automatically get the 8th spot and they'll be in the playoffs. But say they're only ahead 2, 3, 1 game, then they're going to have a playoff. To see who gets that 8th place spot, which I think is the cool part about it.
That's really
have
cool,
that playing spot.
It is really cool because we might end up seeing an Eastern team or a Western team who has like always been just like right there on the cusp and can't like put it together at the end of the season, and they get a shot at it.
What's cool is I think the NBA did it so that way the Pelicans can make a push and try to get in there. Which is cool because I definitely want to see the Pelicans get that 8 seed and then watch Zion versus LeBron in round 1. I think that's going to be really cool.
Pelicans,
where are they putting them up?
Yeah,
exactly.
The Pelicans are getting assaulted.
Or Disney
World?
Yeah,
so that's the other thing. So they're doing all the games in Orlando. They're doing it in the Magic's arena, and that's why I say summer league style. For those of you that don't know, whenever they play summer league, they play in 1 or 2 cities only, and then they just play all day long. So they're just gonna play 4 or 5 games back to back so that they can make up the games and get the playoffs jumping like right away.
I love it.
Which is pretty cool. We're going to see a lot of basketball. Breeze, how do you feel? I remember we all kind of chimed in on how to make it, an enjoyable experience. And I think you and I both kind of flirted with the idea of like how cool it would be to be able to hear the NBA player chatter. And they announced that they may be using the sound effects. Aiden, you're probably hearing this for the first time. They may or may not use the sound effects from NBA 2K so that it can be like an enjoyable experience and sound like a crowd. And
let me tell you,
what do you think?
Any NBA fan with a brain, any basketball fan with a brain loves to watch basketball regardless. I've played in a park where there's not a fucking crowd. I'm sure Jesse and Aiden, you've played games where there's not a big of a crowd. If you're a dog, you're a dog. You're going to go out there and you're going to ball. Okay, Aiden, Mr. fucking flashy guy. All right, maybe you didn't. Jesse, maybe you didn't because you were dunking when you were 13 years old. But still, I'm excited to see people talk shit to each other. To me, it's never been about the audience. And I am curious to see how these guys play without an audience when they're playing to just be like, yo, fuck you, dog. I'm going to bang on your head. I think that's going to be cool. I think if they want to pump in any sounds to make it super funny, they got to make sounds like in 2K whenever you build your like your
arena
and your arena and it's like if somebody exactly. I think that would be super funny, but don't pump no bullshit ass crowd noise. Don't get
hear me out.
About crowd
Here's
noise,
what
dog.
I want. You know how I think it was like 18, the fucking the commentators were douchebags. they just you'd fuck up and be like, I really don't know how they let this guy on the court tonight. He's really off the mark. I want a panel, 3 commentators talking the whole time and just being
Kevin
real.
Hart
and just being real. Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of ways you can go.
I still have to stand by what I'm saying. I don't think it matters what kind of fucking sound effects, I don't think it matters who's there. Once the words summer league style basketball hit my ear, I want you guys to mark my words. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to average minimum 25 points per game through the rest of this shit.
I'll say LeBron for sure. I'll say LeBron for sure.
And through the playoffs. It's gonna be such a different environment when you put someone and even James Harden, who I think is one of the most
best offensive players
although one of the best offensive players ever, because he takes advantage of today's rules, nonetheless still a very good offensive player. These guys are just going to get whatever the fuck they want when there's no crowd.
That's what I want to see.
Different situation.
I'm so excited, dog.
Oh man, it's these guys. You are going to see these dogs come out and play.
I'm so excited to see people score 0 points and people score 78 points.
This is that practice that we got a glimpse of from The Last Dance. Only it's an entire.
That's what I tried telling you guys 2 pods ago.
You were right. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, whenever they said it's the greatest game nobody's ever seen, there was no crowd, and that's because Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan were
shit to the wrong one.
They're saying, "You're a fucking pussy ass bitch. Give me the rock." And he's like, "Yo, you gonna let this little dude beat you?" And he's like, "Nah, give me the fucking rock. Don't nobody give a fuck, dog. I'm ready to take heads off."
But it's gonna be a lot of it.
I heard that a couple pods ago, and I thought that was a good point. I think that's how it's going to be, and I think I'm especially glad that we have Breeze here, and we can get the opinion of someone who was so close to making it to the league.
Oh my god!
Thank you, bro. Listen, there was one point where where the Magic were so bad and the Nets were so bad that I was getting a crowdfunding together to fly me out and go try out for their G League.
What you get, like $17?
Listen.
Yo, there was another point when I shook you out your socks and you had to get carried off the pavement.
Listen, no one else will back me up on this, and that's fine because I know the truth and I'm comfortable with the truth. You stepped on my foot and then took off.
No,
that's what happened.
That's
my ankle stability.
Ankle.
Listen,
don't do this. You're frail. You don't have ankle stability.
Listen, I've been using feet spacers and building my ankle stability. Even if that did happen, it wouldn't happen again.
Yeah, you're right. You got me there.
And I wear Crocs now.
Oh my god, I'm so disappointed.
I got one convert. It's going to be no time until you two are both wearing the toe spacers as well.
Don't talk to me.
You know what's crazy is I am willing to take both of you guys out on the court, no toe spacers, and neither of you are shaking me out of my boots or beating me at this game.
Well, if we can't have our toe spacers,
yeah, then it's kind of
you can have them. I won't.
Okay, bet.
That's fine, man. We're gonna have so much balance, bro.
We could go to Whittier right now.
Bro, don't play with me.
Don't be rude, okay?
Do not play with me.
James is the only one who's like 1,700 miles away.
Hey, yo, pull up.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
40 days later.
Hey, man. So, yeah, man. Not to beat a dead horse, but you guys know how much me and Breeze love basketball. And I think that I speak for everyone here when I say that, like, we are extremely excited to have basketball back, man. Like,
especially because our teams are gonna be in this, bro.
They're gonna be in there, bro. I was getting ready to like start watching virtual NASCAR. I was gonna watch them drive computer vehicles, bro.
I was about to start watching the online 2K league, even though I've been playing 2K.
I've been watching the online 2K league. It's actually super fun.
It is actually really fun. Fire, bro. It actually is really fire.
That's how I've been getting by. Or starting 2K games while I'm half asleep and just letting my player sit on the bench so the game.
They'll play like best of 5, but like the games are 5 minutes, so you really just watch all 5 of them in real time, and like they just talk shit, they just run. And you're watching like NBA players play up against each other. You know what I mean? So so like it's cool because some of them are actual trash, and you could tell who's actual trash, and you could tell who's nice, and it's just cool because you're like okay, like KD, he was pretty nice. And I was like, yo, like for as good as you are, you shouldn't be this good because you shouldn't have this kind of time because you're good at actual basketball. How did you put in the hours to be this nice at 2K?
Yo, so I don't want to make everybody do it now, but let's come back next week or even the week after. I mean, because we do have, they did push it to literally the dead end of July. But I kind of want to hear everybody's predictions for who they think is going to make it into this 8 seed deal. Now, I think the East is kind of not as big of a race because I think it's literally just between like the Magic and the Wizards, and John Wall's not coming back. So, I mean, we're almost like
it comes down to who's putting who on whose back. Is it Markelle taking the Magic, or is Bradley Beal going to tear that ass up?
See, here's the thing: if Jonathan Isaac comes back, I think the Magic sneak up to the 7th spot, and I think it comes down to the Brooklyn Nets versus the Wizards. But
it's possible.
Nonetheless,
not probable.
The West is going to be really fun to watch. Yeah. To watch the douchebag, like I think who's in it, the Pelicans. I don't know if the Spurs.
The Spurs, the Spurs.
The Suns. I can't wait to watch them get beat out.
Devin Booker is. I think my audio got cut out last time, but Devin Booker is the best scorer in the league under 25 years old.
On the worst team possible for his
that sucks,
longevity. Yeah, so maybe we'll do that next time. I don't want to jump to it right now.
Yeah. So moving forward, man, I saw something that was kind of fun, and so I wanted to see and get your guys' thoughts on this. This was on. It was trending on Twitter.
Did anybody tell Aiden? So, or is he gonna?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I haven't told him the movies. I wanted to do that live. That's why I didn't want to hark on it too much in pre-production. But
shit.
So they were talking about the most anticipated 2021 movie sequels. Let me make that clear. It is movie sequels, people. Don't start hitting us and hitting our inbox and DMing us with other 2021 movies that are tighter than these, because there's a lot of them. These are the sequels, though.
Yeah. So how am I supposed to respond to this?
Wait, isn't John Wick 4 coming out next year the same day as Matrix 4?
You know what? Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yes,
that may or may not be true.
It is.
And it's not on this list. You're right.
Imagine going and having
I've got 11 movies
Keanu freaking feature, bro.
They're giving that man a bag.
Keanu Reeves
he's got the bag.
Is one of the coolest people to ever
another one.
We could do a whole podcast on just how cool I think Keanu Reeves is, bro. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But everybody,
if you grow your hair out, you look like Keanu Reeves.
Hell yeah, son.
Reeves. So
Reeves.
Here we go. So I've got 11 of them, starting with Keanu. Starting with John Wick 4.
Okay.
And then we've got Fast 9, which obviously we've all kind of expressed our feelings about.
I'm taking this with me into Fast 9, bro, so I can finish it and throw it directly at the screen.
Then we have Matrix 4. Then we've got Jurassic World Dominion. We have Venom 2. We have Space Jam 2. It was super anticipated. Spider-Man 3. Fantastic Beasts 3 that comes from the Harry Potter world.
I really like that whenever you guys took me to go see those.
Yeah, man, they're dope.
Did you go back and get the originals yet?
He still hasn't quite yet. We still got to get him in there.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of the Harry Potters, but for some reason I've watched all of the Fantastic Beasts, and it makes me want to go. Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go watch these now, and then I just never.
I can't find them yet. Once I find them, I'll shoot them your way.
All right.
We have Mission Impossible 7. I don't know how we've gotten 7 of these because
we got the Fast 9, dog.
I really like the last one. I did. And the thing is, the Mission Impossible movies are like the most cool yet predictable movies you could ever watch. And so, like, I don't know how they just keep on giving this dude the bag for him, but I keep on watching them. So that's probably why. Avatar 2, and then we got Sherlock Holmes 3. So what is your guys's... Out of 11 movies, shouldn't be that hard to pick.
Am I doing a top 3?
Top 2.
Yeah, who wants to kick this off, bro? I'll kick this off. Oh.
Thank you.
Everybody's like,
you know what I like really a lot about this is that Aiden is my brother, but as the this time around token white guy in this group, he has taken the back seat of this this podcast, and I appreciate that, Aiden.
Yeah, dude, it's so cool because usually I'm not necessarily the odd man out because Jesse bridges the gap between me and James's.
So
what's wrong with the gap, bro?
Everything. But we have enough
now
of a
that
gap
you're here,
for
I'm like,
balance.
Yes. I'm like, yes, baby.
I'm just so gentle that I'm not assertive enough to talk over you guys during this podcast.
You used to be.
Hey, go ahead and kick it off, man.
Yeah,
what's your top two?
Okay,
3.
So let me preface this by saying about half of these series, I've never seen any of them.
Let me preface this by saying if you say Furious 9, I will see to it that you get kicked out the Zoom.
Yeah. No. If you say Furious 9, it can be for comedic purposes because I can't wait to go and do shrooms and watch that movie.
No, hold on. So that's not one of my top picks. Although I really enjoy those movies. I don't know why you guys are so mad at them.
Because of how it started.
Have you seen the preview for this movie?
I don't think I have.
Check this out. These guys started out racing for pink slips. And in this last preview, I just saw a car Tarzan swing around a mountain.
Okay.
And then another car gets caught like a falcon out of the air by a
6'3"
by a stealth bomber, by a F-16.
I will admit that they've gone from drifting in a parking garage to Tarzan swinging around mountains with the cars. They're getting a little bit out of hand. Okay, but let me get into my picks anyways. Just so I can say this is probably shared between a lot. Get picture out of your back.
Is that in honor of Tarzan swinging?
Picture a car just right here, bro. Just zooming.
For the listeners with no visual, Breeze has made his background a random forest, which I hope is not a picture in his.
It is
in his computer.
I took this picture in Peckles. I swear to God,
that's a real tree.
Your brown pride is showing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Aiden, number 1, bro.
I'm not meant for this podcast, man. I should have got my number 1 out 5 minutes ago. My number 1.
So like I was saying,
Jesus.
So my number 1 and my number 2 are tied. I'm tied with Space Jam and Avatar.
Okay.
I thought that obviously Space Jam, we all love basketball. The first Space Jam is a classic. Second one, I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think it could either be really great or really stupid. So I'm excited to see that. Avatar, I was so engulfed in that movie when I saw it that I was totally inside the Avatar world. And that was one of the first ones that I saw in 3D. And it was so much so that when the movie ended, I took my glasses off and I was like, where am I? What am I doing?
Hell yeah.
Where are all the monsters?
Hell yeah.
Dragons? Yeah, so I'm really excited for Avatar 2. I thought that the first one was phenomenal.
That's good, man. That's good. I guess Breeze wanted 3, so do you have a third?
Yeah, my bad.
If I had to do a third, I don't want to say
comedic value. Look at him.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I almost did, but I really like the Jurassic World series.
I think they've done a very good job.
Yeah, I really rock with the Jurassic World from the womb to the tomb. So that's my number 3.
Yo, Aiden, did I tell you what my next tattoo is?
Get the fucking forest out of your background, please.
So I'm gonna put like a T-Rex head right here to cap this off, bro.
You've been telling me you're gonna get the T-Rex tat since we're in high school and you haven't done it.
Listen, man, I'm still trying to get a good job. This podcast has 0 sponsors. This podcast has 0 sponsors, okay? I have to eat. I have to buy,
bro.
I have to buy this.
That's an opportunity for us. That's an opportunity for us to tell you that if you need some ad space, you could be in this slot right here. Just reach out to the Bad Apples Podcast at gmail.com. All right, Teddy. So what's your picks, man?
All right, I'm going Avatar. And these are in order because I fucking loved Avatar. And I was pissed like 5 years after when
1 to 3 or 3 to 1?
1 to 3. 1 to 3. I started at the top. My fault. I was mad a couple years after it when I was like, fuck, they didn't make a second one? Assholes. So I'm fucking excited.
Okay.
I didn't want to do Space Jam again. I'll leave it alone. Matrix, because I think that they didn't fuck up the third one too bad. And I think this is a chance to take the asterisk off of the third one, because some people fucking hated it. So I think this is a good way to clean it up if they cap it the right way and like make like just like with the Fast, where the third one you were like, oh shit, what's going on here? And I think they can bring it back around.
Let me tell y'all something. I've never seen The Matrix 1, 2, or 3.
Jesus Christ!
Oh no!
Are you an alien?
I know about the red pill, the blue pill, the leaning back with the bullets flying past them. I know.
Listen,
all that.
I know them. I have a good story. I have a good story for you, and it'll explain exactly what the Matrix is. But I'll finish his list.
Yeah. Last one, Spider-Man, because they finally got Spider-Man right to me. So I'm so very happy that there's a third.
Yo, hold on. I've been meaning to vent about this to somebody on the note of Spider-Man. Have you guys seen the movie Molly's Game?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, I haven't. So Molly's Game, it was about this woman who started out in LA and she was running these underground poker games.
This shit is tight, yeah.
The elite people. I'm talking about like athletes, billionaires, everybody. They got names on the list like A-Rod.
It's a true story.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, like all these big heads. And there was always this one poker player in the games, and he was like a poker shark. He was nice, and he was he had like a weird kind of friendship, partnership, relationship with the girl, and he always told her that he only played poker so that he could crush people and take their money and destroy their lives. Yeah. And that player was Tobey Maguire.
That's what it was? Oh, yeah, I love that. If Tobey Maguire waxed me and took fucking $60K off me, I'd be fucking destroyed.
He was like my favorite Spider-Man. And then I saw that movie and I found out that he was just like this.
I didn't know it was Tobey.
Evil.
In the movie, it's one of the squares. It's the super square dude from. Is he not Knocked Up? Superbad. It's not McLevin, but it's not Superbad. What is it?
It's the dude from Juno.
Michael Cera. There you go. Michael Cera. Yeah. That's my man.
That's who it is in the movie. And honestly, I was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. I just decided if it was Michael Cera in real life, it still would be hilarious, but Tobey Maguire is better.
Damn it. Like such a nice guy, but no, he's
doesn't he?
Just fuck your life up.
So he was like actually an asshole in the movie, or was it like in the competitive spirit?
No, somewhere in the middle.
He was real life.
He was a friendly douchebag. So like he'd be nice to you, but also he took $300K off you this month.
Damn,
you're fucked. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Me too. Maybe I will watch it. What's it on?
Netflix or Hulu? One of them.
The other day.
Okay,
I'll find it again. I'll let you guys know.
Amazon, honestly,
okay.
Yeah.
I hate the Jurassic Park movies.
Wow, man.
Oh, bro, you're talking to the 3 biggest dinosaur fans in the world.
Yeah, I never liked dinosaurs.
Yo, what I read the other day is that kids who like dinosaurs are more intelligent.
That's not true.
Yo, let's go.
Hey, listen to what you were saying. I just leaned into my computer so I could say facts a lot louder and forgot that the mic was attached to my face. So although you are correct, we do slip from time to time, okay?
Here's the thing, man. My whole thing with dinosaurs was always, but they're gone.
Pretty soon they're not gonna be.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, and then let me be clear. I fucking loved Land Before Time. Just didn't really fuck with the Jurassics.
Facts.
it just never. I was always like, yeah, cool dinosaurs. And then what's
your 3? So you had
sorry,
Avatar.
Avatar was 1.
Matrix, 2.
Matrix, and then Spider-Man.
Okay, I fuck with it. It's respectable. Even though you're talking shit about Jurassic.
Hear me out. These goofy motherfuckers thought, let's bring dinosaurs back and put them on the island, and they're not gonna fuck us up. And then when they start fucking shit up, they're surprised. I saw it and was like, this is dumb.
Yeah,
this is really dumb.
I feel that.
You should have known.
I can't agree. Can't agree. So let me go ahead and fire my 3 off, Jesse. I won't forget about you like you guys do me whenever we're that one episode.
That was actually really funny.
It was.
It was super funny because I
had the coolest, and because I had the coolest story to tell. But all right. So at the top of my list for anticipated for me, I have to go Venom 2 for a plethora of reasons. Because
I want to hear them. I'm interested.
I loved the first Venom movie. I thought Tom Hardy was literally perfectly cast. I just thought, I honestly thought that movie was perfect. And secondly, Woody Harrelson is one of my favorite actors of all times. If you know
look
me,
like a Woody Harrelson fan.
Yeah, if you know me, you know that I love Cheers. And he replaced Coach on Cheers when Coach passed away. And I love Zombieland. I just love everything Woody Harrelson does. And Carnage is my favorite of like anti whatever you want to call him of the whole bunch. So the fact that he's going to be in Venom 2 played by Woody Harrelson is just the icing on the cake I didn't know I needed.
Breeze, you look like the kind of person that would shop online for a 2-pack fragrance of scents that are the scent of Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, listen, my Xbox gamer tag isn't McConaughey swag for no reason. Okay? So you are dead on, bud.
Hold on. Can I say that listening to these podcasts, there's always a movie, actor, song, beverage, whatever it may be. Dominic has said that it's his favorite of all time.
Yo, we addressed this last pod.
Now make a list. Now make a list of these,
and then watch how much it moves.
And I'll have to pick from that.
Yo, check this out. If you're listening to this podcast, if you can find me the location of two separate clips where Breeze has said something is his favorite, and it was two different things, whether that be a song, an album, an actor, a drink, whatever it is. If you can find two separate of the same thing that Breeze has called his favorite, I will cash app you $20. That's my promise.
Isn't it nice?
I'll raise you. Teddy Bones merch as well.
Isn't it nice to know that one of your friends enjoys
everything,
the smaller things in life?
I don't know if you enjoy everything or if you don't enjoy anything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's actually bad because I can't tell what you actually care about.
Listen, okay, I love Carnage. I love the Venom movie. I love Woody Harrelson. It's a perfect storm of a movie for me.
Do you love The Forest?
Excited. Yes.
What's your next?
Please.
Is that your number one? Is that your number one?
That's my number one. That's my number one. So my number two is going to be
backwards.
Yeah, I know. So my number two is going to be Matrix 4 because I've always been a huge fan of the Wachowski sisters. And I just love the Matrix. It's literally one of my favorite movies.
Break that down, nerd, because not everybody knows who
okay, so they made all the Matrix movies. The Matrix was actually they were the Wachowski brothers, and it was their first movie ever. And it was The Matrix, which is crazy. Now, Aiden, let me tell you a story that I was telling my girl, and this will kind of break down The Matrix for you. Bear with me here. So I often suffer, and I need to go get a sleep study, but I haven't. But I always, at least once a day, have like insane lucid dreams and sleep paralysis. Always. And it is literally the worst thing. It's happened since I lived with Jesse. I used to tell him all the time. It's literally like the worst thing that you can, one of the worst things.
Especially on a daily basis? No.
On a daily basis.
I just never go to sleep.
So horrible. Yeah, like it's hard. So it's gotten to the point where like in my dreams, I will want to wake up so bad that I'll dream that I woke up. But like I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, finally, like I fucking woke up. But then I'll be like, why is my kitchen table not in my kitchen? And then I'm like, fuck, I'm like still asleep. And I'll try to wake up again. And I'll be like, oh my God, finally. And I'll be like, let me walk outside for some fresh air. And then I'll look and I'm like, these aren't my neighbors. Like, and I'll be like, fuck, I'm still asleep, right? So it'll just continue to happen like that. So
that sucks.
What I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, it feels like I don't know if I've ever really woken up. And I was like, and that's almost what the Matrix is like. Yeah. It's like you're living in this simulated reality, and because you haven't been fully woken up yet.
That sounds more like Inception.
Yeah,
worse.
The Matrix is the original Inception.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So that's my analogy for you. Long-winded and Inception-like as it may be. That's what the Matrix kind of is.
You know, you need to have Denisha just like knock your ass awake at like 4 a.m. every day so you can avoid that.
Well, here's the thing. The reason it happens to me is because we work opposite hours. So I take her to work in the morning and then I come back home and I have to go to sleep because I have to work all night. And then it happens to me then. So it's like,
so you're alone.
So I'm alone.
Please stop asking Breeze questions about this before he explains the science to you guys of the Matrix and why he knows that is because he has a bachelor's degree.
Because I have this degree right here, bud. Okay, so my number three, it was hard for me to go between Space Jam 2 and Spider-Man 3. But I think because Spider-Man 2 was so recent that I have to go with Spider-Man 3 because of all the controversy of it not like it might not have had happened.
Who's the Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3?
Joe.
I think it's gonna be the same loser, right?
Is that
Tom Holland?
Joe.
It's Tom Holland now, huh? Dang.
Yeah, it's Joe Cruz.
Yo, did you call him a loser, bro?
Well, because in the movies he's kind of portrayed as like a loser kid. Tom Holland's obviously not a loser.
Hold on. How is it Spider-Man 3 when there's really like 10 of them?
Because just like there's fucking like 4 Hulks that no one remembers. They fuck it up till they get it right.
Wow.
That's why my take was they finally got it right.
Yeah. As much as I love Tobey Maguire, I agree with that take. This is the best Spider-Man there's ever been.
100%. And the cliffhanger that was left at the end of Spider-Man 2, I am so fucking ready for. So, and also because one of my most anticipated is Venom and with Carnage, and those guys are on the same fucking, you know what I mean, storyline. So what's popping? Jesse, give us your 3, bro.
All right, so this was actually like a little bit hard for me too. So I, at first and second watch, didn't really like Avatar that much because I thought it was like a pretty basic Pocahontas story, although it was a very pretty movie. It was really, really pleasant to look at. So I did like how everything looked. But I've got to say that after watching it for the third time in 4K.
Okay, dog, I was trying to take it off. I was trying to take
Come on, dog. After, my bad if you're listening, Breeze is just putting on goofy backgrounds, man. That goofy background was in fact my face.
He looked down and saw himself. I was like, the fuck?
So I have to say my number 3 is going to be Avatar 2 because I eventually, after the third watch, after watching it in 4K, my girl's parents have a projector that is 4K and it's also 3D. And like, I think I got the experience that Aiden got. And it just was like insane after that to me. And I was like, yo, not only is this pleasant to look at, still think it's a little bit of a basic story, but that's okay. I'm still here for it. So Avatar 2 is my number 3. My number 2.
Thank you for going 3-1.
You're welcome.
Jerk.
My number 2, I have to say, is definitely Spider-Man 3. I mean, like Bree said, I'm not going to fucking beat a dead horse here, but it's the best Spider-Man, and
that's it.
I'm just excited. We're all anticipating
I just love
what's going to happen.
It was taken away from us and then given back. That's why I'm like, all right, bro, don't let it slip again.
Yeah,
just let me see it once.
Don't do that. Yeah, please. So then my number 1 is a fucking really hard toss-up.
Jurassic World.
And I don't know if it's Jurassic World or Space Jam because the way Aiden really, really, really liked how beautiful Avatar looked. That's how these new Jurassic Parks are to me. The CGI on these that they have done and the way that they've created this world is absolutely incredible to me, man. It's insane. It's like it's insane. Like I really just be feeling like there's a T-Rex in front of my face. And with the crazy like HD sound and everything, man, yeah, you got to respect it. So I can't pick between both of them. I guess gun to my head, I'm choosing Jurassic World because I think there's so big of a margin for error to maybe fuck up Space Jam, like Aiden said. Mm-hmm. But it's like a tie to me. So yeah, man, that's my 3.
I fuck with
4,
it,
I
dude.
guess.
I think that the fact that dinosaurs used to be here is just nuts, man. Like,
thank you, bro.
Yeah, like you go to the museum, you see a T-Rex skeleton,
bro.
Have a time where you could just walk outside and there was a T-Rex there?
No,
at the museum here in Albuquerque, the Natural History Museum. Have y'all seen the I believe it's I don't know, like a femur, or if it's like the whole leg or what of Brachiosaurus, and it's like fucking 17 feet in the air and like 12 feet around.
Just picture that,
bro. Like what? What are you talking about right now?
You know what I did for that field trip in elementary school? Stayed home.
Slept.
I stayed home.
Wow. I forgot.
I was like, $7 for the fucking museum, Mom, or I could just stay here. She's like,
$7 is a steal, my guy.
Me and Jesse went to the museum not too long ago. Remember, we went to go look at Leonardo DiCaprio's.
I was like, hey, bro, you want to go on this date with me? Let's go to the museum. And he was like, hey, I ain't gay, bro.
I was like, hell yeah, boo. I'll get you lunch. Oh, my bad. Yeah, but but it was a really cool time. We got to see all of Leonardo da Vinci's like sketches to life, and all his inventions kind of come to life, and got to read all of his like journals and stuff like that. But it was also in the Natural History Museum, and you get to see like these fossils and stuff like that, and you just get to freak yourself the fuck out because you're like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do everywhere I travel, all the big cities, I go to the Natural History Museum because it's so much fun.
That part. Yeah. That's my favorite thing to do. Every city that I go to, I try to visit the city's museum if they have one, and I try to visit the zoo. Yo, one time when me and Breeze were on tour, went on tour, and we were.
This was the coolest experience of my life. I got to literally hug a giraffe neck over my head like this, bro, and the neck was like this big.
Bro, that shit was crazy, man. Me and Breeze just on our dolo, and everyone else was like, yo, y'all about to go to the zoo? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to go to the zoo. Fuck you talking about, man?
We literally had our suitcases with us, and no, it was somewhere in Colorado. Or was it in Utah? I don't know.
It was definitely Colorado.
Yeah. And we told like this little young teenager kid who probably like this is like his summer job or something. We're like, hey bro, we have all our luggage with us. Can you hide them for us? And we'll give you $20. And he's like, yeah, okay. And we're like, all right. And we just left all our shit with him.
Bro, all our shit. Hey, I'm talking like super expensive, like even recording equipment, fucking laptops, fucking all of our, like if somebody would have taken the stuff that was in there, we wouldn't have been able to release music for years.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. But the coolest part about that experience was that there was this like, what is it called? Like I know in Albuquerque it's called the tram. What is that
it's like a tram. It was like a ski lift, maybe.
Like a ski lift type deal. And it went up the mountain, which the zoo was in the mountain. And it took you over every single exhibit, bro. So it was like at any point in time, my prosthetic leg could fall into this cage and get eaten out. I don't know.
I believe it was either Colorado Springs or it could have also been
not Grand Junction, right?
Not Grand Junction, man.
It was.
You gotta let me know.
Everybody in Grand Junction looked like Joe Exotic and his posse.
Yeah, I love Grand Junction. Grand Junction is so cool.
Giraffes have the same amount.
Wait, wasn't the club in Grand Junction jungle themed?
Wait, hold on. Aiden was just telling me a cool fact about giraffes.
I know this fact.
Say it again.
Giraffes have the same number of vertebrae in their neck that we do.
Dog, holy shit.
They're just bigger.
Dude, that's crazy. Yo, when I hugged that giraffe, I hugged it like this because I wanted to get a picture. Like, it didn't feel like this. It felt like I was hugging like a fucking tire, like a tree. Like, it was so strong, bro.
Like, did you get that giraffe, bro?
It felt like I was hugging a fucking giraffe.
Where's the picture?
Oh, is it on my old phone? Let me see if I can find it.
On your laptop, so you put it.
I remember that one time whenever Aiden wasn't washed. Aiden wasn't washed, he said, "Your girl throws neck like a fight with giraffes." Go and Google that later on, and you'll laugh. And that's just a gem about how funny this guy used to be.
I really hope he comes back to it. Like he hits like 45, and his kids are old now or something, and he like can come back to us.
I'm betting that whenever Aiden has his first child, he comes out of retirement to write a song about him or her.
Yo, you know what's crazy is that I think
that you didn't gender them.
Thanks. Yo, no. The crazy thing is, I think that part of my brain just died. Like completely.
Nah, it's a bullshit lie.
Nah, bro.
No, you're full of shit.
Swear to God, no,
you suppressed it.
No, I'm not giving you that. It did not go away with your hair. I'm sorry. No,
it did. I swear to God. I remember I was talking to it was O'Brien. I was talking to O'Brien. He's like, man,
shout out Obi Greedy.
Yes,
shout out Obi Greedy, man. But I was talking to him.
Boys.
And he's like, man, you should write something. You used to be nice. And I was like, bet, man, let me think of something. I sat there for 45 minutes straight. I couldn't think of shit.
That's because you don't sharpen in the knife. Rap.
Yeah, dude, you have to sharpen the knife, dude.
Exactly. Dead. It's already dead.
Jesus.
Nah, man, you can sharpen a spoon too. I have faith in you. I'm not lying. Put yourself in a room with us for 2 weeks. You'll figure something out, and it won't even take that long.
What would I do with my wife? She'd be so mad if I was with you guys for 2 weeks in a row.
You guys got the rest of your life to spend together, dog. What's 14 days gonna do? Test the limits. Test the marriage. Test the love, dog. Test the love, dog. Test the love.
I'm testing it right now.
You're in the same house.
It's 12:52. My bedtime was 4 hours ago.
Yeah, somebody take us into the segments while I find this picture of the giraffe.
All right, man.
Bro.
So,
are you gonna try to reach out to our guy?
Let's go ahead and get into the segments. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and send him a text, a call, something for me while I take us in. So this week, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into our segments. What we have this week for you guys is Rotten Bites. Rotten Bites is whenever we go ahead and speak on something essentially that is a hot take, unpopular opinion, and or something that most wouldn't say. We're also going to do our Red Delicious Song of the Week. Typically, it would be Red Delicious.
A little different this time.
However, if we try to do that, it would obviously sound atrocious. So we're not going to kill your guys' ears. We're going to save you the agony. And we are going to finally deliver to you guys what we promised, the Red Delicious playlist of the month. I'll explain how we're going to do that once we get to that segment. And then the last one that we're going to go ahead and do is Bobbing for Apples. We do have a couple questions that came in from people. We didn't have as many as we usually have because I don't think people are being as keen to the rotation of our segments as usual. So we only got a couple questions. However, we did still get some fan questions. So let's go ahead and kick it off with Rotten Bites. Do we have our guy coming in or?
I guess that's going to be
3 minutes out. No, 3 minutes out. My bad. I muted myself so I could call him. 3 minutes out. I'm sending the invite now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. So then, yeah, he can just jump in. Okay. Cool. Jesse, I wasn't able to find this picture. I'm going to have to either do a more thorough. How do you say it? Thorough or thorough? Thorough. Dive into my pictures, or it's on my old phone, or it's in like my Snapchat memories. But either way, it happened. I know guys usually say like, "Yo, picture it didn't happen," and if you say it to me, we can just scrap. So,
without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our Rotten Bites. Teddy, I know you're trying to get Joe in here, so I won't put you on the spot. Breeze, I don't think you've kicked anything off yet this evening, so why don't you go ahead and give us your Rotten Bite?
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. This is good. Okay, yeah, no, I'm ready. But for real. My Rotten Bite, man, and this might not even be a Rotten Bite. There might be a lot of people on the same page as me. So I'm just gonna say it. I don't think that it's appropriate to like kind of like be releasing stuff or like even kind of engaging in stuff that isn't pro Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I mean? And that might sound a little harsh, but like for an example, DJ Wackademics today, he like posted this thing how like Lil Uzi Vert and YK Osiris are gonna like take part in this boxing match tonight and blah blah. And it's like, dog, read the room. Like, you have such a huge platform. Like, who gives a fuck right now, bro? Like, right now, I wouldn't release music. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't release a video or nothing like that if it wasn't, toward this, what I think CNN called the biggest civil rights movement in history.
Yeah.
spanned all 50 states and to other countries, you know, where police brutality isn't even a problem. They're like, bruh, please help these people.
You know what's crazy about those boxing matches? I spend more time on World Star than I probably should, but I've seen almost all of these boxing matches. YK Osiris is just boxing people for some reason, and they're all stupid because none of these people are like trained boxers. It's just
that's why I'm saying,
30-second scrapping.
Yo, and you know what's super funny is that YK Osiris and Lil Uzi Vert both combine, if they stood on each other's shoulders, probably don't weigh more than my pinky, bro. They're literally
don't let me and Jesse get in the rap game. Don't let me and Jesse get in the rap game, bro. We're gonna start whooping people's ass.
Yo, if you put YK Osiris and Lil Uzi in the same picture, bro, they look like they could fit on my shoulders as the good guy and bad guy, telling me what to do, bro. That's how little these cats are.
Yo, like, Jesse, say less. Say less. Say less.
God damn it.
You know what I mean? You're basically saying like, yo, should I post something that has nothing to do with the cultural movement that's happening right now? And this guy's saying like, yeah, do it. And this guy's like, no, are you fucking stupid? You have half a brain? So that's my Ryan bite is I won't even say to be sensitive to what you release right now, because I don't even think that's what it is. I think you just need to be present for what's going on. Don't be a fucking ignorant douchebag and try to, you know, and plus your shit's going to flop right now anyway, dog. Nobody's fucking paying attention. And so that's pretty much it, man. I think unless you're going to, like how LL Cool J dropped something, I know Meek Mill dropped something, but it was like expressive. You know what I mean? Me and Jesse, just something different. Why don't we can make an expressive song? And I think we should. And I think we should release it. I think that'd be cool. It's voicing our opinion. Relevant. Maybe somebody listens to it. It's relevant, changes their mind or something. But if you're just out here just doing weird shit and your eyes are closed to what's going on, you're a fucking douchebag, and I hate you. And you're not helping anybody.
Hold on. We already made that expressive song way back. It's called "Crumpin' on the Feds."
Oh, yo, don't make me bring it back. Don't make me bring it fucking one time.
My issue is, do we have that song, or does
it's probably on MySpace or something?
Oh, man.
We'll find it or we'll remake it.
R.I.P.
It's funny because those are like real stories though on that song.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't. Am I tripping with that, guys? Or
no, like, man. Totally agree with you. And particularly, it's really unfortunate to see, like you said. I mean, DJ Wackademics, who I have never really looked up to or respected as a fucking personality, because he always misuses his platform. But he does have a big platform, and he is misusing it as a young black man.
How can you vulture the culture you're a part of?
Exactly, and it's the same thing with these other two young black men that are vowing to box each other. Like, you guys are young black men. There's people your age, your skin color that this is happening to in your city, man. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. You know, hey, yo, what's good? We just got Joe Cruz joined in here. He can't get his screen quite the right way. He's on his side right now. That's all good, though. Joe, say what's up, man?
Or is in the date.
Oh, he's gone.
It didn't work. What? Why are you sideways?
Because I thought it would work.
Is your screen?
Hey man, get your screen.
What's happening,
man,
bro?
Man.
I'm gonna get a headache.
I can't.
What? Yeah, just lay down. There we go.
What's up, guys?
Aiden, do you have a rotten bite for us this week, man?
Yeah, I have a rotten bite that absolutely none of you guys are going to care about whatsoever. But this is just me, okay? My rotten bite is that Lady Gaga released the album last week, and I was really sad because I didn't like it.
Yes, I'm so happy, bro.
Listen,
I'm so happy.
I saw that she released an album, and I said, nobody's checking for this right now. I'm not even going to attempt it.
I'm glad I didn't a little bit, but I didn't like it. I mean, it's not like I've been a career Lady Gaga fan. Like you know
false.
That's fine.
Artists go through different phases, right? We all know this. There's different Drake phases that you could probably pinpoint when one transition to the next. And as such, there's the same phases for Lady Gaga. She came in the game outlandish, wearing a body full of steak to the Grammys or whatever. Like, just
that was your favorite Gaga, bro.
No, that
let's play a game.
Suit.
Let's play a game called Swear to God. Swear to God that you didn't have the song Paparazzi in your phone. All right, go ahead. Proceed, brother.
That's a good song.
Thank you. Look, my point is that I wasn't really as heavy on Lady Gaga back then when she was like wearing all this crazy stuff. But she went through a phase when she made the soundtrack for A Star Is Born, and she made her album Joanne. And
I still need to watch that.
That's some of my favorite music that anybody has ever made. And so I was really excited when she made this album.
Our guy Joe's going through it.
It was just like, it was too poppy for me. I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry, guys, that I let you down.
I listened to that one single on there. I think it was with Ariana Grande. Rain on Me. And I wasn't even a fan of that. I wish that I wasn't engaging in this conversation, but I'm going to. And I wasn't. And to that, I think that's probably why I didn't even check out her album, because I was like, if this is the best you have to offer, I'm probably not going to.
No, it is. The whole album is kind of that same sound. It's like the upbeat, poppy kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's like, that's not the Lady Gaga that I love.
Well, hey, man,
you saying that with your wife in the room, bro?
No, she's in the other room.
Okay,
got that off.
It's funny because she was telling me the other day. She's like, "Why do you only listen to girls' albums? You're always listening to Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande." I was like, I don't know.
Because I got a crush on him, babe. What you talking about?
I get the opposite stuff. It's like, yo, you never listen to these people. I'm like, yeah.
Poor guy.
Our Rotten Bite is once again relevant to what's going on. Once again, I think that we have a responsibility to use our platform. And so I'm going to continue to use mine until we see something change. So this week I've been to a lot of protests, and I'll just be the first to say, in New Mexico, we have somewhat of a melting pot. There's a lot of different races in New Mexico. However, the Black community really only makes up for, man, I don't think it's probably 15%. More than even 10%, honestly, if we're being honest, of the population. And so there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely not anything wrong with that. If you're going to come out and you're going to march with us and you're going to be our ally, we will take you. We will take you. And I do appreciate you being out there with us. However, my rotten bite goes where I feel like, now that there are some small wins that Aiden was talking about kind of at the beginning of the podcast, with laws being passed and with cases being reopened. And yes,
2.6%. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, see, so there we go. I mean, you look around New Mexico and you don't really necessarily feel at home sometimes in terms of like being around Black people or like people that look like you. Which is okay. I mean, I'm both, so I fit in like a little bit more, I guess. But like, even still, if I'm not around my family, sometimes it's like a little bit weird.
White alone %82. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. See, no, there we go. Now I appreciate you looking that up.
Yeah,
actually,
I would have thought it was less than
that. So that being said, I think that with all of these small wins that are happening, I think that we're losing sight of the message, and
agreed.
We're starting to open up conversations that are not very important right now. I say that with the utmost respect, and I hope that you guys can understand that I certainly mean right now, because I went to a protest earlier today. I attended 2 of them, and one of them wasn't run by Black people. There were Black people from the Black community helping, but it wasn't necessarily their event. And where I got really upset, and it made it hard for me to support the event, was a gentleman that got on stage, was non-Black, and he started talking about every single issue that was happening in our community, except for the Black Lives Matter movement, which was why I was in attendance there for that movement. Now, he was talking about like child abuse and
cruising your lowrider.
He was talking about like cruising your lowrider in our city and how that's a tradition that should be kept up, because here in Albuquerque they said that you can't do that anymore because they link it with like gang affiliation, which is a problem. It's a problem that the police are linking a tradition with a cultural thing. I get that. However, I'm not here for that right now.
Right. And you shouldn't be either.
And you shouldn't be either. Exactly. You shouldn't be either. So that being said, I'm it's not only that I attended the rally and it made me upset, it's that I'm also seeing it on the timeline and it's making me upset. Don't stop talking about it. I firmly believe that everybody has a role in this, and don't let anybody make you feel stupid and tell you that, oh, you're only posting about it on social media. Yeah, you should be about it and you should make some action too. However, whatever you're doing, however you're trying to contribute, don't stop contributing, because we have to keep on pushing until this becomes a normal. There's absolutely no other way that we're going to get some kind of results until we start to call each other out as the normal, until you can look at somebody and not be afraid of them as the normal. And so it's just, I understand that there's a lot of issues that we all want to talk about, but right now is not the time. There's something really, really important that's happening in the country right now. And please, 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 especially as non-Black people, please just do your part in listening. I can't stress how important that is, to listen. If you don't understand how to help, ask. If you don't understand how to help, listen, and you'll find out. Please, please, please don't minimalize it by also bringing in the issues that affect you directly, because that is not the way to help out the Black community right now. And I was a little bit ashamed today that was an event happening in my city. And so I don't want that to happen again. And I just hope that anybody listening can be understanding that at this time it's really important that you listen.
Right. I just want to add to what you're saying, because pre-production, I was kind of saying this thing where like, now that we see the arrests of the murderers of George Floyd, and, in the future we see them be arraigned and sentenced, hopefully, we have to expand on this movement responsibly. And what that means is that, kind of what we were talking about earlier in the pod, is that you're still watering that same pot until it matches what's going on. You know what I mean? Just because, George Floyd family might see justice for this doesn't mean that it's over. And it doesn't mean that we should just start ping-ponging off every other thing, man. Breonna Taylor's murderers are still not arrested. What's the guy? I always forget his name that was jogging. Ahmaud. I always want to say Ahmaud because of Ahmaud on freaking Xbox Live. Ahmaud's, murderers were just arraigned. You know what I mean? We have yet to see what's going to happen with them. And there's so many more that I could just continue to go through that have yet to see justice and that represent Black oppression, like still present day. So we can't be bouncing off all of that. So to what Jesse's saying is, it's stay on topic and expand responsibly within that once we do start to see change. I think
correct. Responsibly. And again, I cannot reiterate enough times how important it is to ask questions if you don't know. If you don't know, ask questions. Look, you guys know, if you're listening, I hope that you know where to follow us. I hope that you know that you can reach out to the Bad Apples. I hope you know you can reach out at Jay Grado, at Teddy Bones, at Orlando Breeze, at Scuba Ships, at Joe Cruz. The thing is you can reach out to...
I think it's Joe Cruz.
It's Joe Cruz. At It's Joe Cruz. At Aiden Houlihan.
It's okay.
The thing is, you can reach out to any one of us, and I'm not going to make you feel stupid. I promise you. And even if you were to tell me behind closed doors, look, I feel I'm not the kind of person to be combative. I'm not the kind of person to really like speak up and say something and talk. You know what? That's okay. But how else can I have you contribute? Hit me up and let me give you some organizations that you can help fund. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be that person on the front lines to do something right.
I'm not asking you to give $100, man. Like you don't need to give me 2 Virgils, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to give me 2 Virgils. You give me
sign a petition.
$10. I'm
sign
gonna
a petition,
be happy.
yo.
Check
sign
this
a
out.
couple petitions.
Skip out on 1 McDonald's meal and come put that into BLM. Come put that into a fund where protesters are getting locked up. You know what I mean? There's other ways that we can lead you into the right direction. You just have to seek that help. Once you seek that help, like James said, we can give it to you. But I'm not here to track you down.
It's on you to come reach for it.
And in that same sense, I mean, like Bree said, just please stay on topic and please use your platforms responsibly. I don't want to be attending rallies that are not using their platform responsibly in front of hundreds of people and misguiding people that genuinely need the information. You know what I mean? There was genuinely people out there today that could have used some good information that missed out because they didn't receive the message that they were there to probably educate themselves on. And that's all I'm saying, man. Just stay on topic. Just don't lose sight of the message. Please, please, please keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. It's really
absolutely important. Bro. Absolutely. Joe Cruz, you want to give us yours, bro? Do you have one?
Lost some segments. What's going on?
What's your rotten bite, man? Hot take.
What's been happening around you?
Let's see. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
And people just need to fucking chill out. Like people are just overreacting about they're overreacting about this shit. This is corona shit. And it's like just stop. Please. I'm literally losing my mind.
Are you guys still super busy?
When you say overreacting, do you mean like are they is it just like still super busy and it's panicky or
like there's no reason that we should be making like Christmas sales every day, you know? Like just get what you need and like stay home, like because that doesn't make anything else better.
It literally makes it worse.
Yeah, it's like people are like, you need to stay home, and they're like, no, I'm not gonna fucking stay home. Let's just go to the grocery store. Let's just go to the store and buy just unnecessary shit. Like people just need to follow directions. That's it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are forgetting that coronavirus is still a real thing, man.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, it was Memorial Day, and they just came out with a thing that said like 19,000 new cases. You know what I mean? That's because of how long it takes, to show symptoms and stuff. So we're probably going to see another huge spike here in the next 2 weaks. It's important that you guys are still staying safe out there. So I definitely agree with that. I should have been around.
I saw that New Mexico was doing actually pretty good. Is that still a thing?
New Mexico is we're still doing really good, man. And a lot of people are coming down super hard on every. You know what I mean? It will never. Nothing will. Maybe some things will. But I got so fired up when people were out here protesting to get their haircuts and be able to go to Lowe's and suck each other's dick. But they're not out here protesting when the police are fucking killing people unjust. I will fuck you up if you're one of those people. But anyway, I was just about to ask James what his hot take was, but it looks like his seat was the hot take and he jumped out of it. So
let me ask you guys an off-topic question. Completely off topic.
Okay.
Spit it out.
Actually, it's not really off topic. It's actually on topic. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just lost. Anyways,
I hear you, my friend.
When do you think all this will just blow over and everything will be okay?
Are you talking about in reference to like the pandemic or in reference
the pandemic.
To the pandemic?
Yeah. When do you think
it'll be over? Sorry, go ahead.
Like, when do you think people are going to be like, you know what, like everything's going to be okay now? Like, let's just focus on like what's really important now, you know? Like,
so the unfortunate part about this whole the protests and the riots and stuff is that a lot of people are going to get sicker faster than anyone ever intended to.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be over sooner than it was planned to be over, but that's going to come with a tremendous cost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And take it from somebody who works in healthcare. I've worked busy days where I felt overwhelmed. I can't even imagine working there now. So it's definitely going to last now for sure through the summer. I anticipated it going the rest of the year, but now with the protests, and I think it's going to be such an insane spike, it could be over by come the holiday season. Not over.
I have a little bit of a different take on it too, man. I think in terms of like when everything opens back up, if that's what you mean, yeah, I'll say I agree with Breeze. I think probably by the holidays we'll have everything open back up. America is run on money, and they're not going to miss out on the holidays. I'm going to tell you guys that right
sucks.
now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in terms of when will the actual pandemic, be over? I don't think that it's going to blow over. I think that's a poor choice of words. And that's not an attack on you. I just think that that's a commonly used phrase, and I don't think that that's going to happen because this whole thing is going to make us hopefully rethink the way that everything is happening right now.
I hope that it makes people rethink the way that their own hygiene is handled. I know I can honestly say embarrassingly that I wash my hands way more now than I ever have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll probably, there's going to be lasting effects from it for sure.
Yeah.
But the dangers that come with something like this is it's like the flu. You get a different strain of the flu every year, right? So you could get a different strain of coronavirus next year, and we could be in the same boat. And without leadership, like Trump is not taking anything serious. It's like without leadership, we're just in the same boat. Even if there is a vaccine. Now, if there is a vaccine becomes available, then yeah, maybe we get everybody vaccinated, but that's going to
not everybody.
I know that's going to overwhelm a lot of pharmacies and doctors' offices too, trying to get everybody vaccinated. And then you got to get back in the lab and start creating more for if it mutates this way, if it mutates that way. And so it's hard to say there will ever be a normal. There will be a new normal, I think, but I think it will be more health and like sanitary.
Hopefully more health conscientious. And yeah.
But back to normal life, I would say
I've been shouting August this whole time. I've been shouting August, and my thing before stuff started opening at least has always been August, and the biggest moment for opening is going to be that week of Black Friday.
I mean, that would be nice. I genuinely think it won't be till next year, next summer. You guys want to know something fucked up? Let me just tell you guys something fucked up real quick, James, then we'll jump into your rotten bite. So last summer, I didn't get to have a summer because my appendix exploded and I was inside.
That was tight.
I remember that. I just got a Snapchat story memory from it.
Then this summer, I was like, yes, baby, I'm back, full effect, fully healed. Every holiday's on a weekend. Bitch, we getting it in. 4th of July's on the weekend. Bitch, I got $100 for fucking all the explosives. We getting it in. Pandemic happens, dog. Yep. I haven't had a summer, and I'm pretty sure the summer before that I took summer classes so I could graduate faster. Yeah. I haven't had a summer in such a long time. I don't even know what getting back to one would be like. So, Joe, I'm right there with you, bud. I cannot wait.
Maybe if you were a hot boy, that wouldn't be an issue. But that's a story for another day.
It's hard to be a hot boy summer whenever you are under surgical knife.
James, Teddy, real quick, do you have a rotten bite, man?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, my rotten bite stays on the same vein as responsibility. And it's something that we've already talked about throughout the pod, and it's just be responsible when you choose your moment to speak, whether you should have done it earlier or whatever. Do it right. So if you fucked up, acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you made that mistake and now you've come to the right side. Don't just try to show up one day and be on the right side. It's not responsible. I know that earlier I shook my finger in a way at the Black community because they're coming at people who aren't doing it responsibly, even though their intent was correct. I'm shaking my finger at the other side now and saying, just do it responsibly so we don't have to check you on it, because we will. Because
so you're saying
it may not
show
be
your growth. You're
right.
saying show your growth as much as you showed your ignorance, right?
Exactly. And exactly that way. Growth, meaning you have to display where you started before you show me where you are. Because it's
things are too sensitive right now.
Well, not only that, but just for you personally, it's more detrimental if you do it wrong. So don't be dumb, because just in the same vein that it's not my job to teach you, it is my job to tell you that you're doing it wrong. And then you need to take that criticism and ask a question how to do it correctly. And if you want to do it the absolute most correctly, ask first. And I promise we won't jump at you if you ask how you should. Acknowledge that you've come back around to the right side. And here's the easiest way. I'll tell you now, even before you ask, and you can still ask, acknowledge where you were wrong first, please. Because that is my biggest run. But the Roger Goodell thing really fired me up all day. You can't just show up and be, hey, I'm good.
Be like, hey man, we're right behind you this whole time.
I'm a good guy now. I was literally
you want me to smack you?
Bro, I was literally upset about it all day. And then I'm watching Avatar with my brother. And it's an episode where fucking Zuko decides that he wants to be a good guy now. And man is in the forest talking to a frog, trying to figure out how he can acknowledge that he was an ass and hunted Aang for years. And now that he wants to be a good guy. If they can write it in a cartoon from 8 years ago, you can do it now as an adult.
Right. Is Zuko the guy with the burn on his face?
Yeah. Fire Nation Prince guy. He decided to hunt Aang for years all over the world. And he's literally having a conversation with himself like, hey, I know I spent years following you around trying to kill you, but
oh shit,
I want to be a good guy now. Yeah, I want to be a good guy now. And I think that everyone needs to take that same approach. You have to have that conversation with yourself, bounce it off a couple people first, and make sure that you're doing it correctly.
It's not a bad round bite to have, man.
Definitely respect everybody's even yours, Aiden, dude. I really do, because I listened to that song and I wasn't impressed. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's go ahead and jump into our next segment, man. Ryan, what the fuck is it called?
Red Delicious. We're doing Red Delicious. Red Delicious playlist of the month.
Red Delicious playlist of the month. Changing it up on that ass.
So let me kind of explain to you guys. Let me explain to you guys what we did. Unfortunately, I know Joe wants to go first. He, however, wasn't really in on this one. So Joe, listen for a moment first, so you can catch up.
I'll go first.
So what we did is we went ahead and we put together a playlist for you guys. And finally, it's kind of separated by two genres. The first genre, we thought it was very important to back the movement, and we each, between Teddy, myself, and Breeze, we chose between 3 and 5 songs that culturally meant a lot, contributed to either Black culture, the Black Lives Matter movement, and or Black is Beautiful, that same kind of message. Mm-hmm. So each of us chose about 5 songs. So Breeze, why don't you go ahead and go first, man?
All right, Jesse, real quick, I just want to say, you said James, yourself, and Breeze, but if you hit your mouse pad, you'll see that I changed my name on here. And
Orlando Reeves.
Orlando Reeves, bro. So,
dude, I thought I was the only one who saw that, and I was like,
"That's unfortunate, man."
Last name?
Okay, all right. But before I jump into this, Jesse, where can they find it? Because I'm looking at
so guys, I haven't posted it yet. By the time you are listening to it, when you guys are listening, you will be able to find it. It should be under something different. Unfortunately.
And then if you scroll,
you'll scroll down and you'll see a playlist there that's going to be on Spotify. If you have an iPhone and you have Apple Music, too bad you're a dog piece of shit and you're not going to be able to participate unless you go to Spotify.
I have an iPhone and I have Spotify, so leave it
alone. Rare case. But Breeze, how did you contribute to the kind of like BLM Black is Beautiful side of the playlist there?
This is going to be really hard for me. So the first one I chose was True to the Game by Ice Cube. I just, so a lot of these songs I picked out of aggression and anger. So,
rightfully so. Yeah.
Yeah. So True to the Game, Ice Cube basically is talking about like, people who switch sides on their, how do I say this like sensitive? Like he's basically saying like, yo, you're an Oreo. Like you're
the
black
ops,
on the
bro.
outside, but you're white on the inside. Why are you switching up on us? You know what I mean?
Excuse me.
But in a general sense, yeah. The second song, Jesse, you're gonna have to read this one for me.
So this one is Dr. Dre. The day the niggas took over.
Yes, and I'm wearing my Up in Smoke tour T-shirt that I didn't get because when the Up in Smoke tour happened, I was probably like 7 years old. One of the greatest tour series of all time. You had Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre headlining. Opening up for them was Eminem. Opening up for him was Ice Cube. Opening up for him was Exhibit. You had Mac 10, Dub C.
Just Albert or whatever his name is. Alfred? What's his name? What's Exhibit's real name?
I don't know what Exhibit's real name, but shout out to Mexico.
Rupert or some shit.
But anyway, greatest tour series of all time. But anyway, that song to me, I could run through the streets and knock motherfuckers out too. And the way it opens up with like this dude saying like, yo, if you ain't down for the Africans, if you ain't down for the black people right now, you need to get the fuck out the way and let us, you know what I mean? And like, it is just so dope, bro. And I just love it. Third song that I threw into the pot is a Redemption Song by Bob Marley. Took it a little lighter note. I actually did an interpretive dance.
I did not think you were going to tell the people that.
Yeah, I did an interpretive dance to this song whenever I was in, I think I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. I was in Mr. Norris's class. Shout out Whittier. That's exactly, it was like, oh, pirates, yes, they rob. It was something like that. I don't remember. But it was really cool. So if you went to Whittier and you were in there with me, you have the video. I'll try to find it too and air everybody out. But I just thought that'd be nice for the mix. The fourth song I added was "It Ain't Safe" by Skepta because, like I said, this stuff gets me riled up, man. It gets me hot, and like I know I might be stepping out of bounds sometimes, but it gets me hot. I love the song "It Ain't Safe" because he said, "It ain't safe for the block, not even for the cops." And I know that could be dangerous to say, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm riding. And that's pretty much the four that I had, bro.
Awesome, man. Teddy?
Yeah.
All right, so we know I'm the R&B guy. I went for kind of more of an optimistic, supportive feel for it.
Thanks for making me go first and making me look like an asshole, by the way.
No, it's balanced. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it because we have balance here.
I think, absolutely. I think that we've all already kind of come into an agreement that it is okay to be peaceful and to educate, but at the same time, it's not my job, and it's okay to be frustrated and militant because obviously riots and looting and whatever, as sad as it is to see, it obviously is working because it has pushed something to happen and change in the right direction. So that being said, Teddy, go ahead, man.
I have Brother's Keeper.
wait, hold on. Aiden's saying something.
Good.
My fault. Ray, at the start, you told me if I had something to add that I could add it, and I thought of something, and it's going to sound hilarious, but I'm actually dead serious. But I'm actually dead serious about it. But I'll let James go first. No, let James go first. He was in the middle of his.
Okay.
India Ari, Brother's Keeper. It's just kind of a lot of people.
That goes without speaking, man.
Yeah, I don't know. That one, you don't need to really explain it.
India Ari
for everybody in this
Black Queen
moment here, right here. I'm here, and when you're on the outside of it, it's okay to tell somebody you're there, and the important part is to actually be there. So that one is on its own. That's self-explanatory. Tired and Reflections by Boogie.
I love Boogie.
The premise of this one kind of is the music consumer community is tired of people like voicing their concerns and where they've come from and stuff like that. And I put it in there because people are tired of it, but so what? Keep pushing, keep doing it. When someone tells you they're tired of hearing it, I don't care. Keep pushing it because it's important. Another one I have is Look How Far I've Come, August Alsina. That touches on that. Yeah, man, it's an old one. That touches on, like last week when I was saying that just because my story started from dirt doesn't mean it has to. It's another one of those reflective, like, look, I did start from dirt and this is where I came from, and it's just reflective again. And then J Taj, Never Die. that one for me is the biggest one, and his entire premise is it doesn't matter how hard you come at me, it doesn't matter how many times you try to push to make me not matter, I'm never gonna die. My name will ring forever, and I think that that's really important for everybody that's been lost and been taken by this corruption. It's really important to understand that there's those names will not be lost in vain. They will not be lost, period. And even though those families have a massive hole to fill, that name will be held up. That's what I got.
I like it, man. I'll give you guys, now that you kind of know what we're going for, Aiden and Joe, do y'all have any to add that you just off the top of your head, maybe one or two, so I can write them down and make sure they get into the playlist for these guys to hear?
I would have to actually like sit there and try to, but I can't get on my phone.
No, that's okay. Aiden, what do you got, man?
So sad.
But just know I would do it, but
expect a couple from Mr. Cruz.
Yeah.
All right. So this
and my internet's broken. Sorry.
My song, it ties back in to my rotten take about Lady Gaga, which you guys thought was a joke, but it's really not a joke. Okay, so the song that I want to add to this list is Angel Down by Lady Gaga. It came off of her album Joanne, which is my favorite Lady Gaga phase, as you all know now. And she actually wrote this song in response to the death of Trayvon Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you haven't heard it yet, you guys should go listen to it because it's like a really emotional song and it's really good.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So for me, I kind of took a little bit of half and half approach of how Breeze and Teddy approached it. Breeze took a little bit more of a militant approach. Teddy took a little bit more of a peaceful, soothing approach. I was kind of right down the middle. So right off the bat, man, this is one of my favorite songs of all time. This song literally helps me to get through my day. I think I've mentioned it before in another podcast. Kendrick Lamar's All Right. This song literally is the literal expression of how I get through my days when I feel like fucking scum underneath like the world's shoe. It's perfect. My next song, I went with Pac, Keep Your Head Up. Tupac is one of the greatest poets of all time. They say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And, you know, like he's got that bounce. He's got that like feel good. It makes you feel good and it makes you feel proud of where you came from. So that one was really important to me. Next, I went with J. Cole, Neighbors. Okay, the neighbors think I'm selling dope. That song is really important to me because J. Cole literally in that song talks about how he was staying in a home that was being rented for his own personal getaway purposes, and the racism and ignorance of his neighbors in the area, a white suburb area, caused them to call the police and essentially say that they thought there was a crack house over there, when in fact there was a multi-platinum selling artist, a multi-millionaire living in that home. And so,
not only a multi-millionaire, but a multi-millionaire in a very, very, very perfectly executed, responsible sense. He speaks on issues. He says what needs to be said rather than what's going to
and educated. That's important. Yeah. That's important. We're going to start calling out whenever we see black men with degrees. J. Cole does have a degree. And I wanted to. Oh. I wanted to highlight too that had that not maybe been a millionaire black man, that could have turned out to be an execution. So, that was important for me to make the list. The next one that I had was Wale, Sumi, I'm ruling for everybody is black. Wale also takes a little bit more of a militant approach. He's kind of the guy that I look to that says, if you want us to act like niggas, then we're going to act like niggas. And I don't feel bad about it. And I've always appreciated that about his style, because he doesn't really care to enlighten the people that don't care to listen. And I like that about him. I like that he's like, if you're not here to learn, then this isn't for you. So I like that. And then my last one was Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. I mean, that speaks for itself, man. The late, great Marvin Gaye, such a beautiful singer. Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's too many of you dying. That's words of that have been so relevant from the time that came out all the way out to today. So that's what I had to contribute to that part. I'm not gonna, in the essence of time, I'm not gonna go over all of the songs that we added for
musical
just
relevance
that we like, but I will just tell you guys listening and you guys watching that we did add some songs that are of musical relevance that did come out within the last 2 or 3 months. We'll go
and
ahead
you've heard us talk about them on the pod.
You've heard us talk about them as well, yes.
And then the last 2 episodes, so
correct.
To throw those on there too. You know,
I'll just mention a couple artists on there. Yeah, Gambino, Tory Lanez, Kyle, Russ, Drake, Division, stuff like that. So definitely, I hope you guys go and you check this out. We took a lot of time to put this together for you guys, and I just hope it helps you guys get through the day. I hope it helps you guys just like find some new artists. You know,
we're gonna be doing it every month for you, so it's gonna be cool, man.
Absolutely.
And I think maybe it'll be cool. We start to stay. Maybe we continue this thing of where we pick songs that are on topic with what's going on in the world
as well.
Just new shit that we enjoy. Maybe that'll be kind of cool.
Right.
I just want to point out that earlier, Aiden, I was advocating for you to get your point out that you were trying to get out earlier before James started his list, but I had muted my mic because my chair was super loud and I was scooting it forward, so no one heard me.
No, we heard you.
I was fighting for you, bro.
We heard you. I'm 89% sure he said, "Nah, it's cool. Let James go." And you in response, and then it happened like perfectly. Well, now I can't hear you.
No. See, because but my mic was off. I was even going harder for you, bro.
Oh, thank you. Harder for you. I wish you would go that hard when I'm calling you on the phone, so you can just pick it up.
Hey, listen, man.
Actually, real quick, before we hit this last segment too, Aiden, you had something that you wanted to talk about fucking an hour and a half ago. Did you write it?
Yes. That's what I was advocating for when I was muted.
Jesse had already segued into it. I had told him I wanted to talk about defunding the police, and we.
Oh, that's what the moment was. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Did I take Breeze's title? I'm coming for his degree next.
Listen, Jordan killed my what is it called? My confidence in the segues. So
I think he just demoted you from a king to a queen, and it's okay.
I'm fine. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. I have next we have Bobbing for Apples, so we have
fan questions, baby.
Breeze, why don't you go ahead and read what we have off? Did you have them written down?
No, I don't. I think you did.
I did write them down from our DM. Just a reminder to you guys listening, fans of the Bad Apples podcast, make sure you go and you DM us questions. We will try to get to them anytime you guys reach out and ask us anything. You can do that either at the Bad Apples podcast on Instagram, or you can also do that the Bad Apples podcast at gmail.com. We're always open for questions, and we do appreciate it. So the first one someone asked, and I really, really, really appreciate this. This is something that we talked about on the podcast. In fact, someone DM'd us and they said, how can we as non-Black people help the BLM movement?
And that's a perfect example of asking people.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm not going to kill you guys for that, man. One thing I wanted to highlight, if you really support the Black Lives Matter movement, you can prove it to me by also not supporting President Trump. So let me give you a list of businesses here that we can stop giving our money to. Money is power in America, and these companies in some way, shape, or form have donated to get Trump reelected in 2020. And obviously we see how bad of an idea that is, as he is cowering and not being a leader and only pouring gas on what's going on right now. So let me name them off. Some of these might hurt you guys' feelings, but stop supporting these people. Bank of America. I don't support any bank, but Bank of America.
I'm Bank of the West, dog. West Side. The best side. Oh, and I got new sender, bro. I got the credit bureau and the West on my side, bro. What's popping? And I got First Financial. Please don't tell me that's on the list.
CVS. Don't head over to CVS.
I already don't like CVS. I'm glad.
AT&T. Go ahead and drop them. Head on over to T-Mobile. Head on over to Sprint. Head on over to Verizon.
Wait. Actually, who did Sprint just buy? Or
go to Boost.
Yeah, fuck. I gotta go to Boost.
They don't have enough money to donate to anybody. Just go to Boost.
I'm on Sprint, bro.
Matter of fact, I think Xfinity even has a plan for you guys. Hobby Lobby. Aiden, I know that's probably you.
That hurts me so bad because I've been gardening outdoors.
Aiden, this is probably you as well. Joe Cruz, I'm looking at you when I say this one as well. New Balance.
I thought he was going to say Gap.
Stop buying New Balance shoes. Unfortunately, Danny Ray is not here right now, but WWE, they handed over $500,000 to this guy's 2020 campaign.
Yo, Danny Ray has been getting killed these last.
Not here to defend himself. Yeah,
Breeze, this one is going to really hurt your heart as much as it hurt mine, but I already built a bridge and got over it. UFC.
I've known Dana White is a piece of shit, dog.
Man, I can't fuck with it anymore. Shell Oil.
There's a UFC fight tonight that I didn't order, so
good shit. Shell Oil is don't fuck with them, man. There's so many gas stations that should be pretty easy for you guys.
Bitch up.
Bubba Gump and Joe's Crab Shack. That one kind of hurts me.
We don't even have them in Albuquerque.
I got
we
one,
don't. And every time I go out of town, I try to grab it, but no more. Bubba Gump, Joe's Crab Shack. And then lastly, this one's gonna hurt you guys a whole lot, man.
Don't say
Marvel Entertainment's comic book company. They sent out money to fund Trump. So, guys, you're probably asking, okay, well, what is that? What is that going to do? We're literally going to starve these companies. If we hurt their pockets,
they lose the power.
That's the one thing that we have against them.
Yep.
If we hurt their pockets, then that literally is going to hurt them to the point that they have to make they're going to come out and fund it in different areas, or they're not going to get our money. That's it. Yeah. It's that simple. And if they refuse to do it, then they're going to go broke. Yep. Let's all come together and let's make sure that we're keeping that kind of stuff in mind and do your own diligence and do your own research to figure out stuff.
I want to say
that's
number.
That's one way you can help in a big way.
The number from just the Black community is something like $3 trillion a day. Damn. Not counting people on the right side that aren't Black. Like that is a uppercut to an unsuspecting bystander. So give it to him. That's how you fight.
Yeah. And then I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say if anybody else has any ways that they feel are really helpful to help the movement.
I can't speak too much to it, but I will say ask and don't ignore your ignorance.
DM me. Hard as that is. I'll tell you guys where to donate to. I already said that. DM me.
Oh, see, actually, Breeze, I appreciate the fact that you kind of put yourself on a back burner, but you actually have way more to offer than you realize in your action, more so than your words. You do exactly what anybody who wants to be on the right side should do.
It's called doing the right thing, my friend.
Well, even you jump in these conversations. You spark a conversation or ask a question, and then you shut up and you listen and you get as much information and then offer your perspective, whether it's the same one or not. And you do the back and forth required for understanding.
Listen, I asked a question. You guys fill my watering spout, and I take that and I water others with that knowledge.
And that's exactly what needs.
And again, I'm not gonna like pat you guys on the back for doing the right thing and not being piece of shit human beings because I'm not gonna fucking pat you on the back.
You don't get a quickie for doing what you're supposed to do.
For anybody listening, these guys, I mean, Aiden, Breeze, Joe, and I appreciate you guys for it, but you guys are the perfect model people of how. In something like this, you guys, I appreciate you allowing me and James to educate you guys and asking the right questions. And
it's doing the right thing.
The right information.
Literally just doing the right thing. It's it's so easy to not be a dumb ass piece of shit motherfucker who's gonna get knocked out by me the next time I see him. It's so easy, dude.
I love it. I love the fact that I kind of went off the deep end last pod, and now Breeze is doing it because it's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to take a week and absorb information and be fired up about it. That's exactly how.
It's hard because
when they're deserved, Breeze. That's exactly what's supposed to happen, and I need you to understand that you deserve the attention that you're going to garnish from being in this room where people are asking you those questions. Just tell them to do what you follow the example.
I appreciate it, bro. I can only credit that to the people who raised me. I'm literally just doing the right thing and not being a piece of shit. Although sometimes I do feel like I overreact or overstep my bounds, but shit like this just gets me so mad that it is hard for me to not feel that way.
I feel like you underreact when I call you on the phone.
I was gonna say it too.
I'm saving it for right now, my friend. But let's jump into this last fan question. Last fan question really hit home for me because I struggle with this a lot. It's a pretty personal question, and for all of us, I'm sure we can give a pretty unique answers. The question is, how have we been protecting our mental health during this whole thing? And I want to expand that to also the pandemic, because someone like me who has suffered with like anxiety and panic attacks my whole life, it's easy for me to get hyped up like I'm going to get sick and die and stuff like that. So whoever wants to kick this off first, man.
I'll take it. Okay. Because this one's been coming to me a lot, especially after the last pod, and it's in a very weird way, and not as cut and dry as it's going to sound. I'm used to everything that's been happening, so for me, the way that I've been protecting my peace of mind is I only give myself 30-45 minutes at the start of every day to spiral. And then I make sure and spiral in a way that like I'll get angry and I'll watch videos and I'll get all of this information from the social media juggernaut of toxicity. But what's important to me is I then spend the rest of my day trying to understand the ignorance. And I think a lot of times it catches people off guard when I have a conversation and it sounds like I'm on the wrong side of it. And that's not what it is. I'm fighting myself just as much as I'm arguing with you to understand the ignorance, because to me personally, I can't explain, I can't convince, I can't talk you out of your stupidity if I don't understand where you're coming from. Right. And it's really simple. And it's just because people don't want to hear something too far off from where they are. Nobody does. Nobody wants to take that kind of information. So if I can tell you from the direction that I think that you're coming from, even if I miss the mark, I'm close enough that you'll hear a piece of it. You'll hear part of it. You will hear something, and it should light a fire. It should spark some kind of change in you. So for me, I limit my exposure to the ignorance, and then I spend the rest of my day trying to understand it so as to, one, calm myself, two, educate myself, and give me more weapons to educate when people ask.
That's a really good method, man. I have to give you credit for that, because it's hard for me to not just continue to double dip, so to speak, myself in the toxicity of social media throughout the day.
That was the hardest one, and it honestly took a month, I want to say, of me and my brother doing the same shit back and forth throughout an entire 24-hour period, where I would spiral first and he'd be like, nah, too early. And then it would hit lunchtime and he'd be like, okay, my turn to spiral. And then we just were stuck in this frustration circle all day. And it's draining.
It definitely is, dog. I can definitely
attest to that. It's so draining, and I couldn't keep doing it. So I had to find a way.
If you have a Twitter account, you know how it feels to just absorb all day. Yeah.
It's the same as being in that class with the class clown and the dickhead and their friends. So you got an idiot and a guy who loves to hear his folks talk, and they just keep going, and you just feel like it's too much dumb. I cannot function in
this podcast
in this room of too much stupid, and you just got to find a way. There's a reason we only do this once a week.
Exactly. Joe Cruz, why don't you tell us how you've been coping mentally, man? I know you're getting slammed over there at work, man, and I'm sure that you have some Black friends who have been affected by this, and I'm sure that you're not blind to everything that's going around. So tell us what's going on.
Well, I will say it's it's pretty hectic at work. I see so many kinds of people and so many conversations going on. And then most of my family, they're from Cuba, and most Cubans are Black. My great grandpa was Black, and one of my uncles are Black. And speaking Spanish, even at a young age, we would go somewhere, people stare at you because people don't know what you're talking about. People don't know what you're saying. So they're going to obviously assume it's always about them, which sucks. But at least 95% of the time, someone's going to be like, oh, they're talking about me, but we're not. But like, I don't know, a good way, a way I've been trying to cope with everything is like just working on what I my passion, like my music. I like to
meditation.
I think it's important to not lose focus.
Exactly. I have an idea and I want to do it. Like not last podcast, but the one before that, I was saying that I was getting with Jesse, working on a project, because nothing's gonna stop me. I just still want to do that. Yeah. But with everything going on, I mean, it's also I need to be respectful, of what's going on.
Yeah, and it's not like you're missing out on an important timeline date anyway. It kind of almost put pause on everything for you. You know what I mean? You get more time to work on it, build more content. I think that's another way people should be looking at it.
Yeah,
but I think you kind of hit it on the head too.
I really like the way that you said that.
Not to lose that you've been still doing what you love, because I think that's important for everybody.
A lot of people
can't lose who we are.
Exactly.
Trying to fight for who we are. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And I really like that you spoke on that, Joe, because I think a lot of people forget that your passions become that because they're therapeutic. A lot of people stumble into music and art and things because their life hit a crazy fucking roller coaster of turmoil.
Yeah.
So when there's a roller coaster of turmoil, every time you pick up your phone, lean into your passions for sure. And that's something that you don't even necessarily have to depend on or wait for somebody else to do. You can do that alone to make sure that you stay centered.
And not necessarily, like I know most of us art is music. Like we lean towards music, but I mean, if it's painting something or even doing something, going on a run, just go, keep that. Don't let it go. Just keep doing it. And, we have a good support system. All of us in this group chat right now, this little Zoom chat.
Absolutely.
Being the youngest in the Zoom chat, being the youngest in the Zoom chat, I have a lot of, different role models here. So I thank you guys for sure. So
absolutely, bro. I'll jump in here next just because I kind of want to follow up on what Joe was saying. Sorry, this whole time has been pretty crazy for me, and what's crazy about it is this whole year I've been saying this has been the hardest year of my life, but not the worst year of my life.
Oh, for sure.
And at the beginning of the year, I stopped talking to everybody, literally everybody in this group chat. Hadn't talked to you guys for like 3 months, and I wasn't rapping, I wasn't drawing, I wasn't writing, I wasn't doing gardening, I wasn't making my fucking lemon waters, nothing. I was really losing sight of who I was, and it wasn't even because of the pandemic or the protest that's going on. This has just been like one of the worst years of my life, or the hardest years of my life, I'll say. And I think
you better give me my
Joe
flowers.
Says, well, I don't know. I might because I can't think of it off top because I've had too much to drink. But Joe hit it right on the head, man. Someone told me, they're like, you can't save the world, but like save yourself. You might have told me that then. Yeah. and they're like, but save yourself while you're trying to do it. And so I did, and I started writing again. I started doing this again, and I started to feel better. And it helps me to cope, especially because I'm taking care of my grandparents during a pandemic. And if you keep in contact with your grandparents, you know how stubborn people of that age are, and it is draining. I was telling somebody at work, I said, I feel like taking their keys away, like grounding them. And so that way they can't leave the house. Like, I'm like, I don't understand this feeling right now. Right. And so it's kind of been crazy. And another thing is, I've never really been super religious, but every night I drive past this little church on my way to go check on my grandparents. And I've just been praying so much, and somehow it has just been one of the greatest blessings that I've ever had. It has rekindled my relationship, I think, with the Lord. I know a lot of you guys, maybe some of you guys are religious, some of you aren't. Maybe some of you guys have taken a backseat like me. I understand life can definitely get in the way of, trying to build that relationship and stuff. And so I've started to rekindle that relationship, and it's really helped me. I've also just been trying to, I don't know, man, whenever somebody told me not to lose sight of who I was, and I took a step back and realized I was doing just that.
Yeah, man.
I was like, I need to boss up 1,000%. I applied to this job that I've been wanting, bro. It's literally like double the pay. Hopefully I got an interview coming soon, bro. I've been working nonstop on this content to promote when it's late. I've just been writing my ass off. I've been doing my gardening. I've been making my waters. I've been doing my shit, bro. That's like numero uno, bro. Don't forget who you are.
That's why I wanted to big up how Joe brought it up, because, and I'm not a fucking breeze fishing for the degree accolade, but like that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing to bring you back to us. So that's why I know, like, it's really easy to lose sight of it, but you just need someone to remind you who the hell you are and
yeah,
what got you going. I think the way that I phrased it too was like, I know that what you're going through is hard and it's different than what you've been through before, but there was a system that got you to where you are now. Don't forget about it.
Right. And that's tough, man.
There's ways that you got through whatever the hell you went through before you're here. And I know that this one is different and it's a super fucking curveball, but you already have the tools. Just use them.
Yeah. And it took a lot of realization to do that, and to connect it back to what's kind of going on. I think that, you know, in the midst of trying to keep yourself safe and keep your loved ones safe, and in the midst of trying to make your voice heard and supporting the Black Lives Matter, you know, take some time and just try not to lose yourself in
support
it, man.
You
but
just
still
as much as
make an impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you might have to work overtime if you're scrambled. You can't do it if your head's not in the right place. You're not going to have the energy to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse, Aiden, when you guys want to jump in?
Aiden, what do you got, man?
So I think that there's two different strategies to approach the two different big issues that we're facing here, the pandemic and the protesting. So as far as the pandemic, I honestly have not done very good at coping with it. But I think that the best thing for myself to do is to take a hands-off approach, because throughout this whole spring, like my school's getting canceled, my clinicals are getting jumped around from one end of the country to the other. The dates are changing, and like I had no control, and I was freaking out the whole time. And in situations like that, the best thing to do is just sit back and realize that you can't control everything. And like,
absolutely, man.
If I can't do anything to control the situation, then there's no reason to be being.
Absolutely.
Put some energy into what you can control, since this one is so far out of it.
Exactly. And on the other token, as far as the protesting and everything, I think that if people are like frantic or feeling stressed or anxious about the whole thing, one of the best things you can do is to make a plan. What are you going to do about it? And
educate yourself.
Yeah. And like exactly like we just went over a few minutes ago, like some different like businesses and retailers and stuff that we can take our money away from. On the same token, there's probably a bunch that we can give our money to. So something you could be doing is finding the right businesses, the right restaurants to be going to.
Yeah.
So you know that you're like proactively doing something about it and you're not just being complacent.
I like that.
I really like absolutely. That. I definitely agree to that. Taking a hands-off approach to the pandemic is definitely helpful, because it is drastically out of anyone's control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seriously, it was hard for me because I wanted to do that, and unfortunately I didn't have the luck to be able to just be like, yo, I'm not fucking leaving this house. But I was able to contain myself to a small bubble. And I got to say, that's like the only way that I'm still getting through it, is I'm like, I'm not going around you motherfuckers.
Great. What do you got?
Yeah, great, man. How have you been coping with this stuff mentally, man?
For me, man, I think it's really important to kind of the same way Aiden said. I guess kind of a two-part question. So the first way, with the pandemic and with everything that's going on, I guess I kind of haven't, because I've still had to work through this whole thing. So at this point, it kind of sucks, because it does kind of weigh on me the same way it's weighed on Joe, in the sense that like people are just not giving. And even though I've had a lot of really cool interactions with people that have been really sweet and whatever, like I've also had a lot of really shitty interactions with a lot of shitty people. So it's hard to kind of protect my mental space in that sense that I've been on the front lines, if you will, like the whole time. And like I'm not like throwing a pity party about it or anything, but sometimes I just have to like just go ghost, just like for a whole day and just like not fuck with anybody, not talk about anything, and like that's cool, just like
Jump on 2K,
recalibrate,
bro.
Right? Yeah, like just something. And then with the protests and everything that's been going on, definitely the number one thing that has brought me peace is speaking with my grandparents, in particular my grandfather, man. He's a very wise man. He's spoken a lot of really like wise words. I shared some of them with you guys on the last podcast. And, like my grandparents went to HBCUs. They went to historically black colleges, Langston Hughes. And so they've been there, done that. They literally grew up during segregation. And so I just appreciate them so much during this time to like look to our elders that have been there for guidance. And, that really like calms my soul to speak to them. And then as far as like a release, man, just creating. Like I just do what I do. I just create. I've been reading a lot more, mixing a lot more music. I talked about that too. I write like short stories. Like I'm an awful artist, but like I try to do like watercolor painting. It's like really therapeutic. Writing a lot of music, just creating, man. Like it's a good release,
Absolutely,
that's
bro.
really it.
Yo, I'm glad you said reading because I recently started reading this book called Blood Meridian, and it's by the same author that wrote No Country for Old Men. I don't know if you guys ever read it, but it's pretty fucking crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to shout that book out because it's really good.
Yeah, man, I never really was a reader in my life, and I only recently, within like the last year of my life, have started to understand like how important it is, even if you're not like reading material that is like history and stuff you're still educating yourself, you're still filling yourself with like ideas and creativity and
or even giving yourself a better vocab
stuff. Yeah, exactly. So
I kind of burned out on reading as a kid, and I'm getting the itch to get back into it, and I think it's a super blessing for me because I also school was so easy for me. So the itch that I'm getting to get back into reading is educating and stuff that's
show us the diploma.
Fuck you. And the stuff that's you mean on pace with my passions. Like I'm minutes away from buying Rich Dad Poor Dad, books like that, and getting more kind of just perspective and information and on where I want to go. So I like that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, man. We're going to have to jump on here and talk about our favorite books one of these days. But I think we kept Aiden up long enough. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Joe, thank you for jumping in on here.
It's always nice to have you, bro.
Thank you for being a super producer, recording us, bro. Jesse, it was nice talking to you as always, my friend. Let's see. Do you have an apple of the day? Anybody have an apple of the day they want to kick off before we get out of here?
Yo, I might have one if I could take this one.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it, man. I don't give a shit.
It's it's a short and sweet, and it's been the theme of a lot of what we've had today, and it's just be responsible. Be responsible in your community, be responsible in your home, be responsible in conversations where people are stepping out of line. Be responsible in the way that you present yourself and your position and your point of view and your thoughts to the world.
And be responsible in listening.
And be responsible. I think the biggest one might be responsible in educating yourself.
Yeah.
Because before you do any of that, you have to have the right information. And you have to have the right, maybe even circle around you that's going to come with stating your position. It's going to come with a thinning of that circle, and be okay with that because you did it responsibly and know that you did the right thing. Someone else did the wrong thing. And it shouldn't be like it's going to be kind of a weight on you. But it's a good weight. You know what I mean? You're picking up a mantle that needs to be picked up until it gets lighter. So it's okay.
Yeah,
right.
Just be responsible.
Bro. Hey man, I know we took up a lot of your guys' time today, but I appreciate it if you guys made it to the end. As always, welcome to the bunch, and we'll talk.
Check out that fucking playlist, y'all.
Make sure you check out that playlist. Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Peace.